are things that have been borrowed and used in other sports. So we certainly an impressive life, well lived, and we'll celebrate the accomplishments, but certainly more in the loss of Bob Harlan for quite some time. So we've got our Temkin in today for Kevin in the 5 o'clock hour.
An old Irish saying, which I love to repeat in situations like this, you don't lick it off the rocks. And generally speaking, when you have a really good person, there's a reason for that. And much of the reason for Kevin Harlan being who he is was who Bob Harlan was.
Absolutely.
So, a wonderful legacy in sports and in his family life, and won't be another one like him anytime soon.
No. So we're thinking of you, Kevin.
Yeah.
Love you, and look forward to talking to you on down the road. But with his family is where Kevin is and where he should be. So we think of Kevin Harlan here today, and hopefully everyone will send along good thoughts towards the Harlan family. We do have a lot to get to today. College basketball coming down the stretch run. The final weekend, Missouri can finish anywhere from 1st to 16th. Everything rides on the game against Arkansas. Is that correct, Kurtis?
I believe the peak is 4.
5? Oh, 4? They can't still get the double bye?
If they win and
9 other things happen.
And Tennessee loses. Tennessee has to lose. But if Missouri can win and Tennessee loses, will be the 4 seed. I just don't see Tennessee losing at home to Vanderbilt with that much on the line. Senior day or evening or night or whatever it is.
You have been on this bandwagon for quite a while, just giving absolutely no credence to the idea that Vanderbilt can win this game.
I don't think there's no way. I just don't look at that as a game that I think Tennessee's gonna slip up in. At home with that much on the line, knowing if they win, they get a double bye. It's going to take one hell of an effort by Vanderbilt to win that game. If it happens, then Missouri has a pretty tough. They're a 2.5-point dog. I'm saying, haven't seen a line on Tennessee and Vandy. But if those two things happen, Missouri's a 4. But if other things happen, we talked about this a couple days ago. They could be as far as down as a 10. If the favorites, including Missouri losing, if things kind of play the way we think they're going to play out or where they should play out, and they're an 8. But a win, they'll open things up so they can set the course for everything else by winning that early tip off.
That Oklahoma loss was devastating.
It was,
because they were fighting for a 3.
Yep.
And now they're maybe they can get to a 4, but you think most likely the 8-9.
Yeah. They hold the head-to-head tiebreakers against Kentucky and Vandy, and I think A&M. So really, it's right. It all depends on Missouri, Arkansas. Just that one flip could move them from as high as a 4 to as low as a 10, based on that one game.
So, a lot at stake.
Very much at stake.
And you can tell how much the college basketball world thinks of this game. It's at 11 a.m. Don't sleep in. You'll miss the Tigers game.
Yep. I know it's been at that time for a while. I guess you can't flex.
If they hadn't
these
spit
games.
the bid against Oklahoma, we could really bang the drum for why isn't this game, on in a more premium position. But losing to Oklahoma takes a lot of wind out of those sails.
For sure.
But I don't know. What is Missouri? Are they – do you – I think they're still firmly in. I think they're in even if they lose to Arkansas.
Most recent, the bracketology this morning from Lenardi has them as in the last 4 buys, which means they're in that last 4 group that's not going to have to do a play-in game. Yeah, they're a 10.
10, maybe an 11, because 2 of the 11s don't have to play. But I think they're a 10.
Lose,
and they may fall 11, to the 11.
But maybe not the play-in 11s.
Yeah, maybe they stay where they are. Losing to Arkansas, I don't think there's any shame in that.
And again, it depends on what happens in that neighborhood. Teams move up or teams move down. If the teams around them there all win and they lose, they could fall out of that neighborhood.
Yeah, I think they're probably an NCAA tournament team. If they're going to have to go in and play in that first round, I don't think you want to lose to Arkansas and then lose in the first game to a lesser team and come in on a 3-game losing streak. I think you'll be chewing on your nails, but that's what Gary Parrish says all the time. They got to find 68 of these teams.
Yes.
They got to find 36 at-larges.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's not easy. right? I think there's 32 automatics, right?
31. There are 31 leagues now. So
Is
I
that
guess
right?
there's an extra one, yeah, because the Pac-12 went away, hasn't been replaced.
Huh.
They're actually. I looked at. That's why when I changed up the no,
It's coming back though.
is it?
Yeah, they stole all the Mountain West schools to go with Oregon State and Washington State. It was in the papers.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Fresno and
Okay.
Like Boise, and they're all not going to be the Pac-12.
Okay, but they're not this year, are they?
I don't know.
I don't see. There's no Pac-12 standing, so they're 31, so there'll be 37 at larges.
Okay. I mean, that's a lot of teams. I
That's a lot of
think
teams.
Missouri is going to get there either way, but you'll be nervous if you fall to Arkansas and fall in the first round.
Especially if Miami of Ohio loses in their tournament, because now that they've gotten through the regular season unbeaten, I get the idea they could probably not go unbeaten. They could lose a game in their conference tournament and still get it as an at-large, which means there's an extra at-large out the door.
Should they? Should Miami of Ohio get in?
Yes. Even if they lose one this week. I mean, I know they didn't play this, but they beat every team that they played for the entire regular season. You lose one game in 1 week. To me, I've never agreed. I know why it's done, because of they want championship week to really matter. But to me, I think anyone who wins a regular season championship should get the automatic bid. And if you want to give another automatic bid for a team that wins the conference tournament, fine. But playing 20 games or however many 18 games, that should matter more than whether you get hot for 3 days on a neutral site court. I'll never come off that. If you want to give someone an automatic bid for getting the conference tournament, fine. Add more teams and have fewer at-larges. But winning your regular season should get you there automatically.
That's fair. That's one of the reasons why I'm in favor of expanding the tournament. And I hear all these people that are like, once we went by 64, I don't understand Mike Krzyzewski coming out like, don't expand it. I'd expand it for the exact reason you said. Regular season champ, automatic bid. Tournament champ, automatic bid.
Yeah, and if it's the same team, hey, good. One more at-large team gets in.
I mean, I would be in favor of like 96 teams. And give the top 32 a pass, or even give the conference champions a pass. When we get back to 32 leagues, give them all a pass.
They get a bye, and everyone else has to play another game.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
It just seems like such an easy fix to do regular season and then add in the things, and don't worry about whether or not Auburn gets in at 16 and 14 as an at-large. I'd rather have Auburn not get in at 16 and 14 than have Miami of Ohio go unbeaten in the regular season and be watching the tournament, watching Auburn get drilled by 20 in their first game.
Yeah, I don't know. Listen, I'd take any amount. I mean, I know they're not going to jump straight to 96, but 72.
They didn't go right from 32 to 64.
No.
There are stops in between. They stopped at 40. They stopped at 48. They could stop somewhere in between 64 or 68. This is already a stop. They stopped at 68. They could stop one more time, but at least one more time before 96.
But I would be in favor. I like what you're saying about the conference champion and the tournament champion. I think you want those tournaments to mean something. I don't think you want to take that away, because I think it's a great event. If you take that away, I think we lose a lot of the luster of what is a great event here in Kansas City.
There really isn't a point to having the tournament then. If the automatic bid or the winner doesn't get in, why even have them?
Yeah.
So I think there's room for both.
There would probably be schools that are like, yeah, we're not coming.
Exactly.
We're not going to be there.
Yeah.
I mean, Kansas knows they're in.
Done.
They don't have to come and play in this, but I'm for more basketball. I'm for more tournament.
Yep.
And I think, like you said, there's a way to put quality teams in, and it's by giving conference champions an automatic pass. I think it'd be better. I think, schools like UMKC would have an easier chance to get in. It's not all just on the tournament. They could focus on the regular season as well. I think it's just good for business.
Yep.
However you want to do it, and maybe you give, you give, I don't know, you go up to 80, and you put 48 of them advance.
Yeah.
And 32 of them play. I mean, however you want to do it, I don't care. But I'm just for more tournament basketball.
And
I love the play-in games. I did at first. Is like, what is this?
great.
But now I'm like,
It's one of the best games.
Yeah, it's great fun.
And
why
those
not
teams
have
have made runs.
Yeah,
I mean,
why not have a full slate of games Tuesday, a full slate of games Wednesday, a full slate of games Thursday, a full slate of games Friday? Are not Thursday and Friday the best days?
Yep.
They are the two best days of the tournament.
Yep.
Like I'm always down when we get to Saturday. I'm like, wow, there's only this many games.
Yeah.
Like, you don't realize it, but there's only 16 games on Thursday and 16 games on Friday.
And then you go, by the time you get to the next Thursday, it's 4.
Yeah.
It's still cool, but to me,
It is.
that's the second best round because you've got that evening, you've got two great, they're really good teams, and you've got 4 games in a span of, 4 or 5 hours. Yeah, this will be the first time I've actually paid close attention to what the math would be. So when the seeds come out, the conference tournaments are all over, I'll see how many, if we did it under that idea, regular season and conference.
How many teams
how many
are left
automatics,
out?
how many automatics would be in compared to previous years when there's only been one per
basically
conference.
all we got to do is count how many conference champions didn't get in.
Yeah.
And I'll bet you we're at about 8 to 16.
Yeah. Or how many, that plus how many, if you awarded the automatic to the regular season and the postseason, how many at-larges does that leave? Not necessarily.
Well, basically, that's all we're
it's the
doing
same
is
thing.
we're counting how many.
Yeah.
It's just, it's the same thing. How many conference champions don't get in?
Right.
Because those would be in, and you'd lop off the bottom.
Yeah.
I'd be all for it. I'd be all for it. Kansas needs a win against K-State to get the double bye in what most would call a name-your-score game.
Yeah.
What should be the plan for Bill Self in this game?
By the way, I just finally saw a line 16.5, which seems low.
It's either like K-State's going to put a superhuman effort together, KU's going to continue to struggle, and they're going to win by 5 or 6, or KU's winning by like 40.
Yeah, that's. I was
A
driving down.
102-58 win. You can chalk it up.
Unbelievable. The Jayhawks hold K-State scoreless the last 18 minutes of the game. Because I was driving down to my event yesterday while you guys were doing There Can Be Only One, and when you were knocking around the margin, I was just I kept repeating 25, KU by 25, KU by 25, which is about what the highest high water mark was. I mean, I don't remember a time when these two teams have met when the outcomes seem more obvious. It's not just Kansas versus K-State, but it's Kansas coming off a rough game on the road back home, K-State coming off a crazy win. I mean, everything points to a complete beatdown. But yeah, and it isn't even like the Cats are trying to rally for Coach Driscoll. Maybe they're trying. Maybe there's something there, but they know he's not getting the job. They know they pull an upset, then he's not going to get the job. So what is there to play for the Cats?
The reports are they're going to go hard after the SLU coach, the Utah State coach, and the Binghamton coach, Belmont coach. Sure,
but there's also word from Matt Norlander that SLU is in the process of trying to get one more year added to their guy Schertz, so he might be less likely.
Or you've already reached out to his agent, and he's like, "Oh, just give me another year. I'd rather be here than there."
Yeah,
I mean, I do think
it could be.
I do think it's going to be a tough sell to hire a coach. You're not just picking your guy.
No,
if you're K-State, not with what's gone on with Jerome Tang.
Not.
Oh yeah, let me sign a contract. Like, do you know how long the next guy's contract should be?
Yeah.
I mean, unless they dig like maybe the Belmont coach. Who's such a great coach. I have no idea what his name is. But maybe the Belmont coach will be just giddy to, get to a power league. But if you were hiring a Bob Huggins today, do you know how long that contract would be? Like the defining cause, like what are the odds that the contract of the next coach says cause will be left up to the sole discretion of the athletic director?
Mm.
What are the odds that phrase is in the next contract?
That's the thing. The fact
it won't. I guarantee it won't be from any coach that's hard to hire.
Right.
If you're the only one, if you're hiring a coach that no one else is talking to, then maybe you can keep that language in there. But now that you've pulled what you've pulled, there's going to be some really defined terms on what cause is for the next coach.
which it's impossible to separate that program and its history from the guy who's going to be your boss. You can't separate those two if you're going to take that job. If it's somebody else, a new regime, hey, it's a new day in Kansas State basketball. I like this guy who's coming in to pull the strings. I got this, place I'm going to be in a power conference. But if you're going to go into take a job where the guy who's hiring you is currently embroiled in a legal battle with the guy who you're replacing, some flags coming up there.
If you take the K-State job, is anybody going to consider it a destination job?
I wouldn't think so. No, it hasn't been a time when that was a destination job.
What is the longest?
At least not in the last 30
what
years.
is the longest anyone has been at K-State since Jack Hartman?
It's probably Frank Martin.
Nope.
Oh, really? Let's see. Was it Lon Kruger?
I think Hartman was there.
No, you said since
Hartman was there 16 years.
Yeah.
Is that right, too?
Probably.
Yeah, 16 years.
Since Hartman.
Who do you think the longest tenured? You're in on this, Kyle. Who do you think the longest tenured coach at K-State is?
Bruce Weber.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, what was that?
That's insane.
How could I forget that?
He was appreciated for about 7 minutes of the 10 years he was there.
Yeah.
And he's the longest tenured coach.
I actually forgot about Bruce Weber.
Jerome Tang,
Which is amazing.
3 and change. Bruce Weber, 10. Frank Martin, 5. Bob Huggins, 1. Wooly, Jim Oldridge, 6. Tom Asbury, 6. Dana Altman, 4. Lon Kruger, 4. And then to Jack Hartman.
Wow. not somewhere you go to retire.
No.
Unless you're 60.
No.
It's
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough sell. You better be splashing some cash around.
seems unlikely with an athletic director that when he talked to you about what was it about the football coach? Oh, it was about Chris Kleiman. What would you do if someone offered him $9 million? He goes pat him on the back and say good luck.
Yeah,
that doesn't sound like a guy who's going to pony up extra cash for a basketball coach when they just hired a new football coach.
Yeah. I mean, we're getting to where, it'll start to be hiring season pretty soon. We get through these conference tournaments next weekend, and then it's hiring season. So, good luck. Good luck. 913.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, 913-3-810-810. The phone number, 913-3-810-810. We'll get into some football, maybe some Royals baseball. Did you watch the game last night?
I did not.
First inning took 2.5 hours.
Did it really?
It was like 7-4, and then it was like 8-8 and 13-8, and I was like, all right, come on now, somebody pitch. They did one of those. Cole Reagan's he was bad, and reached his inning pitch limit. So he came out, somebody else came in, and then they sent him back out to start the next inning, and he sucked then too.
Wow.
But like that's one of the fun things about spring training. All right, you've had enough. Come on, let's bring in Slappy here. He didn't do much better. I don't even remember who it was.
It's not as bad as the Mariners yesterday. They gave up 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals to the Padres, 27-6.
Really?
Yeah, there's got to be a mercy rule.
By the way, that'd be
Spring
3
3
touchdowns
and 2 field goals.
and 2 field goals.
Oh, that's right. 3. My bad.
Kansas math.
Whew.
The diploma. You got to be proud of that one. Point to it when you do that math.
I was never a good student.
Clearly not a mathematics major.
Captain Collier's shaking his head right now. I'm expecting it.
The best part
Sir.
was when I corrected him. He still thought about it for a second.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Oh,
is that
wait,
right?
hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. That was the best part.
Well, I completely forgot Bruce Weber existed.
Well,
I went, oh yeah.
My first guess on that would have been Frank Martin too, though. Okay.
How long was
he's
Martin?
5.
5?
5? Or
He
hang
was
on. Let me
like
double
he was
check that.
here
I've got it
longer
open.
than that. It's possible.
Let me make sure.
7 to 12 or 8 to
2.
12? Yeah, 8
Yeah.
to 12.
Yeah, 5 years.
5 years.
4 tournament appearances. 5 years. And I get second round, third round. They did Is that?
They got to the Elite Eight.
But what is that on the reference sites? Is that
that's
the second
that's
round,
rough.
the 64?
Because for a while they started calling the play-in, the first four. They were calling that first round, and then the round of 64 was the second round, and the round of 32 was the third round, which was annoying, and it was never going to last. So they should have never done it in the first place. So you do kind of have to go back and look and see exactly what that meant. I know
But you just put in parentheses how many teams.
I think they were in the Elite Eight in 10.
He was in the Elite Eight in.
Was it 10? That was the year that
10.
Yeah, that KU lost to Northern Iowa because they were both playing in the same first round pod, or first weekend pod.
Yeah.
In Omaha.
By the way, they were number 5 in the country at one point that year.
Wow. It was Pullen and Clemente he was still there.
Yeah. I mean,
that was a fun team to watch. Was that the team that had that crazy game against
Xavier?
Was that the same? Or was that another year? I remember that.
I think that was it.
Him and
yeah, because that was a Sweet 16 game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because I remember it was a weeknight.
Right. Yeah, it was a Thursday night.
We may or may not, we not being you, but you were with us. You were not participating in this part of it. May or may not have sent the A10 zone bartender to the hen house to buy more cream for the quantity of White Russians that were being consumed because it was a baseball weekend. All the guys were in town for the fantasy baseball. And usually on baseball weekend, we will have a White Russian night in honor of
the dude.
The dude.
I still got to watch it.
I know. That's going to be the first honor
of
Kyle reviews the classics.
Yeah.
He's gonna watch The Big Lebowski.
It's good to know the dude's out there.
He is a partaker of the Caucasian, as he calls it, the White Russian.
Well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Yeah. So in honor of that, we usually have a White Russian night amongst the weekend that is fantasy baseball. And at the 810 zone, we drank him out of cream like 3 times. We're like, and I think we even gave him money to go buy more. Like one of the bartenders ran over to the hen house and got more cream when the 810 zone was right there at 119th
just
and Row.
across the way from hen house.
Yeah. Ran over and getting the cream for more White Russians.
You drank them out of cream.
The good news is there's only about 6,000 calories in each one.
Yeah.
So, cream, Kahlua, vodka, and is that it? Or is there?
I have no idea.
I can't remember what. I think that's it. Kahlua is like 6 million calories. Heavy cream is clearly not light on the diet.
No.
But they are tasty.
Low in carbs, though.
If you can rock your way through an evening of White Russians, you've accomplished something.
You've done something.
Let me tell you something.
You are the dude.
You are the dude. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll take your phone calls. Phone lines are open. Chiefs, Royals, Sporting, KU, K-State, Missouri. Always a topic here in the program. 913-3-810-810. We're off and running on a Friday.
The program with Soren Petro.
I don't like any of that stuff. Most people like it. I don't like it.
Weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
That's all right, Zach. I don't like it either. But you know what I do like? I like calling the plumbing pro because you know what? When your plumbing's not working, when you can't flush, shower, do a load of laundry, it sucks. That's why I call the plumbing pro. The only folks you need to know, the plumbing pro. They've been in Kansas City solving plumbing problems since 1980. I'm talking about the most difficult plumbing problems or the easiest. It doesn't really matter. For me, I need them for everything. Sewer, septic, drain. They do it all, right? And I'll tell you what, I tried once to fix my toilet. I think I finally got it done, like 6 trips to the hardware store. Nope, that's not the right size. Nope, that's not the right size. I think perhaps there was 700 profanities uttered during the course of that. There's nothing like doing something that the plumbing pro could do in minutes and taking it and turning it into an entire afternoon. Don't do it. Don't be an idiot like I was. Call the plumbing pro. They're experts at plumbing. Listen, they've been doing this since 1980 right here in Kansas City. They're locally owned and operated. Steve is still the owner of the Plumbing Pro. There are a lot of other plumbing companies that are out there that have a name on it, and it ain't them anymore. It's some big corporation, some big conglomerate from out of town that's running the show and grinding out the numbers. I know because I called one of them once, had a guy on the phone, put on his cell phone. He's like, yeah, I need about this valve on a hot water heater. And the guy on the other end goes, why aren't you trying to sell him a hot water heater? Oh, yeah. there's confidence. That's when I found the Plumbing Pro. Tim Grunhard tipped me off to the Plumbing Pro, and we have called no one since. They are absolutely the best when it comes to your plumbing, whether it's the big jobs for a big corporation, getting out the backhoes, doing all that kind of stuff, underground work, sewer or water lines replaced, they do all that as well, or just a simple toilets not flushing at your home. The Plumbing Pro does it all. Look them up online at theplumbingpro.com. Don't forget theplumbingpro.com or call 816-763-8200.
Robert Brogdon's Olathe Buick GMC has been Kansas City's choice for over 30 years. With the selection you want and the savings you need. Get incredible offers on new vehicles like up to $14,000 off the new GMC Sierra trucks or up to $7,500 off new Buick SUVs. They've also got APR financing as low as 0% and no payments for 120 days available. Choose from over 300 vehicles in stock. Visit I-35 in Santa Fe or robertbrogdon.com. Offers may not be combined. Length of term varies for special APR. Must qualify and finance through GMF.
Spring can be a tricky season weather-wise, but new windows from Window Nation can keep your home comfortable no matter the weather. Plus, in March, the more you buy, the more you could save. Up to 50% off all window styles. Visit windownation.com for your free consultation today.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Kansas Lottery X Games! Kansas Lottery X Games!
You listen to the program here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Soren, Petro, Kurtis, Seaboldt, Kyle Collier with you here on a Friday. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, that was happening to me the day you were somewhere else and I was there. I was like, this thing won't stay in the right spot.
Yeah. The world's an imperfect place.
It is.
Screws fall out all the time. Name it.
Oh, I should. I know I've seen it. I just don't. The world's in a perfect place. Well, this is going to be a forehead slapper, I'm sure.
Yeah. 9133-810-810.
Name of the character?
Phone number. John.
Oh. Give it away if I don't.
I give you his last name. It'll give it away.
Oh, okay.
Bender.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
913-3810810. Let's go to the phones. Scott is waiting patiently. You're in the program. Scott, lead us off today, buddy. What do you got?
Yeah, hi, Soren. Hi, Kurtis.
Hello.
Thanks for taking my call. I heard it suggested in a couple places and then a few mock drafts that the Chiefs should consider taking Carnell Tate at number 9.
I think they definitely should consider it. That's for sure.
So I'm going to be interested in your thoughts on what I have to say here. I think that would be a mistake, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I applied the Petro principle to this situation, and what I did, I analyzed the top 20 receivers from last year, and every one of them had 1,000 yards. And so I think in applying what you have said before about when to take a wide receiver, only 3 of those players in the 20 guys that got 1,000 yards last year, only 3 of them were drafted in the top 10, and 6 more rounded out players taken in round 1. Their average draft position is 52. And when I look at Carnell Tate at a 4.53 40, I realize he's supposed to be a guy who can catch in traffic and who can get to balls that their current receivers can't get to over the middle. But 6'2", 192, I don't know. I really think the Petro principle says don't take a receiver, especially this guy in the first round, and be interested in your thoughts.
That's interesting. I'm bringing up the leaders here, and just to go over some of the names. So you did it by total yards, right?
Yeah, just based on your comments before about the challenge of nailing the right guy in the first round.
Yeah, I'm looking at it here. I mean, Jackson Smith and Jigba, I'm just coming off the top of my head here. I'll get all the tabs open, but he was around 20-something, wasn't he?
He was 20 in round 1.
Puka Nacua, 5th round. George Pickens.
Yep.
Oh, you got him there? Okay, George Pickens.
Yeah, he was 52.
Okay, and then Jamar Chase was obviously very high.
Yes. And then
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
112. Trey McBride, 55. And then Zay and Olav were first-rounders, but outside the top 10.
Yeah. Nico Collins, 9.
Yep.
And Jamison Williams.
Yep, first-round guy.
First round. But, yeah, that's interesting. So the top 10, and, in other years, Justin Jefferson wasn't a top 10 pick.
Yeah,
that's interesting. Yeah, I do think that the slow 40 time is going to hurt his draft stock. I mean, I think some people are going to, but although I will say this, Tet McMillan had 1,000 yards, I think, or right at close to 1,000 yards. I thought he got to 1,000 for Carolina. He was the first wide receiver off the board last year, and I don't think his 40 time was real great either.
Gotcha.
But that's pretty, I mean, if you're going to play the numbers, then you play the numbers.
Well, and certainly the first time I heard you put that Petro principle forward, it really resonated because, you think you got to get a top caliber receiver in the first round. And as you did the math before and just taking a look at it again, I mean, it holds. The average for all of these guys, the 20 receivers that had 1,000 yards, their average draft position is 52.
Yeah, Scott, it's one of the reasons, and thank you for the call, buddy. I appreciate it. That's good stuff. It's one of the reasons why I think we may end up saying trade down. Hopefully there's somebody really wants to come up for it, get more picks. If you're going to be, already having, faults with whoever you're taking. Like if you take, Bain, you're taking a guy with short arms.
Yeah.
If you take Tate, you're taking a guy with a slow 40. If you take the Downs, the safety, you're taking a non-premium position.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason to bail out a 9. By the way, Tet McMillan last year ran a 4.48. So he was 70 still 05 faster.
Yeah, 70 for 10-14 and 7 TDs.
So he did get to, but he was 6'4"
in 17 games.
And I think
they list him at 6'5", 212.
Tate.
Yeah, Tet. Yeah.
Tet McMillan.
Yeah.
Tate is like 6'2" even, isn't he?
Something like that.
I'll have to look at what his.
The thing is, if you think you may think that's a value. He's the value of a guy you could drop down for. But if you think Tate's your guy, you got to take him when he's going to be available. And if you're going to drop down because you're going to get value in the first round at wide receiver, you have to make sure who's left is Jordan Tyson, the kind of guy that you're talking about getting at that spot. Because that's probably if you're dropping down to 20, you're picking up a spot, but if you're going to still go wide receiver because you think you can get someone that's a 1,000-yard receiver at that spot, that guy has to be there, and that guy might not be there this year. I think I agree. Over the long haul, you don't necessarily have to, but what's happened in the last 10 years isn't as material to what's going to happen this year as I think people would like to believe.
His overall athleticism score, although he didn't do a lot of the drills, he didn't vertical jump, he didn't broad jump, he didn't do the 3-cone, the 20-yard shuttle, or bench press. He did a 4.53 40 and a 10-yard split of 1.61. Not exactly an athletic freak.
But if you think the equivalent of Justin Jefferson is going to be is Jordan Tyson, then yeah. But if you think that guy is only Carnell Tate, then you got to get him at 9 if he's there, or do something else.
I'm looking up what Justin Jefferson did do by comparison, because he went. Where did he go? Justin Jefferson.
Was he?
I thought he was like 21, 22.
Yeah, let's see.
Thought he was in that range. But I want to see. He ran
22.
He ran a 4.43, so a full 10th faster.
Yeah, at 6'1", 195. He was number 22.
Yeah. This at the combine, I guess he measured in 6'1", 202. So, 33-inch arms too. Nice reach to go up and get the ball from somebody. Did Tate measure on the arms? 31 3/4. So 1 1/4 inch longer. Yeah, I would pause. I would pause before I went for him at 9.
Some breaking injury news involving tomorrow's Arkansas-Missouri affair. This comes from John Rothstein. Darius Acuff, undisclosed, is doubtful to play on Saturday against Missouri.
Oh.
Seems important.
It would seem important.
Yes.
Helps Mizzou.
Yeah. This comes on the heels of a game that
Don't lose now.
Yeah, don't lose now.
Because it'll really look bad then.
Yeah, for sure.
913-3-810-810. Let's talk to Mike. You're in the program, Mike. What's going on?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Got a crazy idea to expand the men's basketball tournament.
All right.
And hopefully I didn't plagiarize this from something I've heard before, but expand it to 128 teams. Every team in the first weekend is guaranteed 2 games. The winners advance to what we currently call the NCAA Division I men's tournament. The losers advance to what we currently call the NIT tournament.
Ooh.
Because we're only when you count this ridiculous first 4, which I don't like and never have, you've got 68 teams in the current NCAA tournament, and then I believe the NIT is 32, so that equals 100. So you're only talking about an additional 28 teams.
That's some good Kyle Collier math right there.
And so then you can still have the regular season champs, automatic qualifiers, the tourney champs, automatic qualifiers. That leaves you plenty of at-large qualifiers. And then the TV networks just schedule the content accordingly because they're already doing that now. The NCAA men's tournament gets all the primetime games on the prime, Friday, Sunday, Thursday, Saturday. Then you schedule the NIT Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
I like it.
Makes
It's like
a ton of business.
It's like when you go play in like the holiday tournaments, you have the winner side and the loser side. You lose the first round, you go into the bracket going one direction, and winner's side going the other. The NIT just becomes the loser's side of it, but you still got something to play for. I think it's actually a good idea, Mike.
And if you're one last thing, and I'll get off, but if you're not a coach that is in the top 128 teams in the country, you don't have anything to complain about.
Yeah, I would agree, but they would still complain. We know that. we know 129's pissed. It does not matter how far we go; they're going to be upset. But Mike, I like that idea. Thank you for the call, buddy. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, I can't imagine that was plagiarized because I've never heard of that before.
No,
I kind of like it.
And if you get upset, you can still go win the consolation tournament. I mean, are you going to be pissed? Yeah, but I would still watch. I'd watch it more than I'd watch the NIT right now. I think maybe not.
It'd be fun to see a 1 or a 2 seed or a 3 seed lose, get upset by a 14, a 13, and then lose again. I think that'd be exquisite.
Which does happen in the NIT a lot. Like the team that thought they should be in the NCAA that would go to the NIT. I haven't watched the NIT for a while because teams turn down the bids now, but they would go in there and just lay an absolute egg. Like a home game even with nobody there. I don't know that it would be much better, but I like the concept. I like it a lot.
By the way, just an update on the women's tournament down at T-Mobile Center. K-State's run continues. The 12 seed advancing to the semifinals. Crazy win over the 4 seed Oklahoma State. Cowboys tied it at 73 on a 3 with about 8 seconds left. And in the process of K-State rushing the ball up court, there was a foul with 1.3 left, and the woman hit both with 1.3 left. Cats moving on. It's been quite a week.
Yes, it has. 913-810-810. We'll take a break, come back. Ted, you'll be first up. When we come back, we'll talk a little more football with Ted next here in the program.
The program with Soren Petro.
I just answered this question.
I feel like I'm asking a different question.
Well, give me the same answer.
Okay.
Weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Did you know that there are always great specials at your neighborhood hen house? I don't know if there's, a special on cream, if you need it for some White Russians this weekend. I don't know. I don't know if that's one of the specials, but if you go to henhouse.com, you can find out. You can stock up right now on things like previously frozen boneless, skinless chicken breasts. They're just $2.99 a pound. Best tasting chicken breasts around. They've won taste test after taste test. They're raised in Ozark Mountain Country. That's right in our very own backyard. It's the best tasting fresh chicken you're going to find anywhere. It's at your neighborhood hen house. Isn't that what you want to put on your family's table? It's what we put on our table. If you need some, a good, healthy white meat, go get those chicken breasts from your neighborhood hen house. Planning something special? How about some uncooked lobster claws and arms, just $13.99 a pound? They have an incredible selection of seafood. Go check it out. Their seafood counter is second to none. You can also get the Seabest Sway Filet 16-ounce package, only $3.49. That's over $2 savings right now. Like I said, all these specials and more are available at henhouse.com. And don't forget the Conecuh smoked sausage. Selected 16-ounce varieties, just $5.99 a pound. The best flavor. Get breakfast, get brunch, get it going at your house. The smell, absolutely wonderful. Everybody will love waking up to that smell. You can get all these specials and more, like I said, at henhouse.com. They're all good through March 22nd, so hurry in and save. Henhouse Markets. Fresh quality, friendly service, and savings you'll love all month long at your local neighborhood henhouse.
From New York dispensaries are lighting up the weekend with a full board of heavy hitters. From Friday, March 6th to Sunday, March 8th, take 15% off Curio, Happy Eddie, and Edie Parker, plus 15% off Proper, Daily Driver, and Honeybee. Get 20% off illicit carts and disposables. Looking for the spotlight? Score 25% off featured illicit products. And for the sweet side, enjoy buy one, get one 50% off all illicit edibles. Shop now at FTEMO.com or visit your local From New York dispensary.
Hey guys, it's Todd Lebo here for FanDuel, and your Friday nights just got a little louder because
You're listening to the program here on Sports Radio 810 WHB, 913-810-810. Little Danny Unleashed coming up in the 3 o'clock hour. Little Ted talk right now. Ted, you're in the program. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, I wanted to talk about the big trade, but first just a quick couple comments. I'm hearing a lot of smoke about, or
seeing a lot of smoke about Kenneth Walker to the Chiefs.
Yes.
I do not want that.
Makes two of us.
He does not catch the ball out of the backfield. He's not a 3-down back. I really don't want to overpay for him. And the other guy is Caden Proctor. Please know. Us Iowa fans know all about him. He's flaky. Do not want him. So
the Walker one, I mean, I don't know that the Chiefs are going to be willing to pay the price that it would take to get him. I do think he's capable of being a better receiver than he's probably shown. I think I'm checking this to make sure. I thought late in the year he started catching the ball more. Did he? Let me look here. 4 for 36 coming down the stretch. His last, second half of the year. Let's start week 10. 3 for 44, 3 for 30, 3 for 18, 1 for -1, 1 for 2, 3 for 64, 2 for 6, and 4 for 36. So I think there might be a little potential for him to be a better receiver than maybe he showed in Seattle. They had Charbonnet on the roster until he got hurt, and it looks like when he got hurt, they used Walker a little bit more as the receiver, and he kind of answered the bell to a degree. But I just think the price tag is going to be too high. If I'm wrong and he comes in cheap, okay. But I feel like, most of us all have 3-4 different fantasy football teams. Most of us have all had him once or twice, on one of our fantasy teams. And I feel like every week I'm looking at the injury report. Is he going to play? Is he not going to play? I was surprised that he's played more games than I thought, but it seems like he's on the injury report every week.
Yeah, I don't want to be spending $14 million a year or whatever it's going to be for the running back. That's not young and great. So going to I wanted to commend the Chiefs on this draft. Thank God. I think we'd all be screaming if we were the Bills and we traded a second for DJ Moore and $25 million a year, or if we were Houston fans and we got Montgomery with what they gave up for Montgomery. I think the Chiefs are winning the free agency or draft part of this off season so far. And I was curious what you guys thought on this. If I look at it, it seems to me like the decision was made, or maybe they just fell into it this way, that you paid Trey Smith and you paid Nick Bolton, who I think were both not easily replaceable, but replaceable, and you got a first, a fifth, a sixth, and a third. Or you could have paid McDuffie a year ago and maybe got a fourth for Trey Smith. And I don't know that.
I think you would have got more than that. I think you could have got a third. Sam McDowell thought third. I think you might even been able to get as much as a second-round pick, a low second-round pick. But second, third, I think is what you could have gotten for Trey Smith.
Okay. Okay, so I guess how when you look at it that way, I guess I'm just curious of your opinion of the trade. When you look at it that way, would you rather have McDuffie a third and a third? Or would you rather have Trey Smith, Nick Bolton, a first, a fifth, a sixth, and a third?
I don't know that you would have got a third for Bolton. I don't know that. I think the only guy maybe
I'm saying Trey Smith. You would have got a second or third. I don't know that you would have got much for Bolton.
Yeah, I think
I'm saying you got McDuffie, and let's call it a third for Trey Smith. You can say you got a sixth for Nick Bolton. Or you get Trey Smith, Nick Bolton, a first, a fifth, a sixth, and a third.
Right. What I would add in there is you also have to hand out $7+ million more to McDuffie.
Yeah.
Because Trey Smith at $23 million is the highest paid guard. McDuffie's going to be asking for 30 or more. So you got
Nick Bolton salary on top. You got Nick Bolton salary with that. So
well, I mean, I think Look, what would I have done, Ted? And thank you for the call. I would have traded Trey Smith and walked on Nick Bolton and taken the compensation. I'm to like who was it? Scott that was talking about, the Petro principle. I'm gonna go by the math, and I'm going to get burnt here and there, but in the long haul, I'm going to have way more successes than failures. And so I'm not paying a middle linebacker. And Steve Spagnuolo likes to have his middle linebacker, but Steve Spagnuolo also kept Anthony Hitchens. Like, I would remind Steve Spagnuolo when he's telling me I got to have Nick Bolton, be like, you had to have him so much, but you kept Anthony Hitchens for a year, and we played Nick Bolton at outside linebacker because you didn't think you could move off of Anthony Hitchens to Nick Bolton? And now you're telling me you got to have Nick Bolton. Burn the bridge. Don't let him go back. Force him to coach somebody up. We're paying you $6 million to coach, not to, give you everything you want.
Right.
Right? Like, so no, I would have walked on. I would have traded Trey Smith. I'd have tried to trade Nick Bolton. I think you might have been able to get like a 4th-round pick for him. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you could have gotten a 3rd. I don't think you're getting a 2nd. But, I would have those 2 picks, and I would be doing this a year in advance. To be clear, the year to trade Trey Smith wasn't last year. It was 2 years ago. It was when Creed Humphrey took the deal and he didn't. That's when he goes.
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody has a year plus the franchise year that they can use on him. And he would have had more value. And so he'd have been younger, 1 year less tread on the tire. And so, yeah, I think you might have been able to get up to a 2nd-round pick. And he also had a better year. But, so looking at it like that, if I have the Trey Smith money and the Nick Bolton money, yes, I would have signed. And again, I would have signed Trent McDuffie last summer, or I would have traded him last summer. And I would always be ahead of that. And once you start doing that all the time, there's no screwing around with the agents. They know you're serious. This is when we're going to do it. This is our deadline. If not, I'm going to trade you. I need real numbers. And if the agent wants to screw around or not, then great. Then, CAA can know that every time we draft one of their players, they better rent and not buy. Because 3 years into it, I'm going to be shopping him. And make it known. CAA does that. That's how they do business, and all the GMs know it, and all the GMs deal with their approach. We'll deal with my approach. You sign now, or I move you. Look, I've never run an NFL locker room. That may be disaster. Everybody may think it sucks, and everybody may play poorly. I get that there's another side to it, but the math, the Rays approach would do it.
All right, who was the last player to have a 40-homer season for the Pittsburgh Pirates? Brought to you by La Feta Delicatessen.
Every once in a while, we have to bring out the big dog.
Yeah.
Oh, God help us. It's time for Danny Unleashed. Sponsored by Easton Roofing, where integrity matters. Go to eastonroofing.com for more.
Time for a little Danny Unleashed, brought to you by our friends at Easton Roofing, Kansas City's best. That's what you get with Easton Roofing. Did you know?
I'm sure I did.
You think?
Undoubtedly. I know everything about Easton Roofing.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Ins and outs, the financials, all the backwater stories.
You're privy to all of it?
No, I'm not. But I know enough about the quality of their work, that's for sure.
I think, yes, I would agree. I think we both are proud customers of Easton Roofing. By the way, I'll tell you how good their work is. There's a little chat in our neighborhood, and somebody put out the and we have two different roofing companies, not Easton, that have trucks in our neighborhood. In other words, they live there. And somebody put out, hey, we need some roof work done. Who should we call? 3 people answered Easton Roofing. That was the only answer. All 3 were Easton Roofing.
And 2 people live in the neighborhood who work for a roofing company.
Yes. One of them is a truck that changes the name about every year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, have fun with that. Easton Roofing installs gutters, too. Did you know that? They've got your gutter covers covered. Easton Roofing installs full gutter systems and gutter protection, including commercial and residential, standard aluminum, copper, specialty gutters like half-round gutters. You don't need to climb on ladders every fall and be scooping out that crap. Get the gutter covers from Easton Roofing. It helps protect your foundation, siding, and landscaping. Custom fit and professionally installed with Easton Roofing. Find them online at eastonroofing.com. Danny, how are you, buddy?
Oh, the sun came out.
All of a sudden, yeah.
You know, I've gotten used to living in Seattle for a week or so, but the sun is out. It's lovely. The only thing good about the recent weather is that just before this weather cycle came in, I did a large dose of patch seeding, and this is perfect weather for patch seeding.
Oh, really?
It
Okay.
stays moist, and it gets a little warm, and yeah, so I was excited about that. I planned on it, and the plan came off.
You're
the
quite unleashed today.
Oh, yeah, there I am, Farmer John.
Farmer Dan.
You know, I had some successful patch seeding last year, so I was excited to go at it again. Sometimes it goes and sometimes it fails when you do the patch seeding.
I don't even know what it is.
Oh, it's just what, little spots you get in your lawn, and you get this, it's called patch seed, and it's fertilizer, and it has seed in it, and you put it there and make sure it's moist and watered, and sometimes you get great new grass, and sometimes you don't.
Riveting.
There you go.
Riveting stuff, Danny.
I like to keep my audience riveted.
Trent McDuffie. You like the trade?
I do like the trade. Having a real football player who can play is certainly always more of a certainty than having 4 chips. But if you play your cards right in this analogy,
I see what you did there.
Then this could be a really great deal. It could be a Tyreek Hill type of deal. But you go out and hatch a 2023 draft, and then you're sitting there going, "Oh boy, what did we do?" Look at the Rams with their 2 more trophies with McDuffie, and we've got a handful of that saying you say when you got hope in one hand.
Hope in one hand,
yeah,
dump in the other.
Yeah, right.
See which one fills up faster.
So I think what it does is I think it creates a real dynamic of an important draft for Brett Veach, because I think he's been kind of mixed of late. So now you've got an opportunity. You're loaded up. You got rid of a good football player, and you got a nice return. Make the return pay off.
I think you have plenty of picks, although
not at they don't have 12 or something.
They have 9,
right.
But you have enough to come away with good talent, and you've got higher picks than usual. I mean, I think that's one of the things. I think picking at the bottom of the round every year is tough. I mean, so now they've got some high picks.
True, but no matter what, everybody has, everybody's kind of equal after the first round. I mean, you're still gonna have a second round pick, even if you had a crummy first round pick. Yes, it's at the end of each round, but
I think it matters.
Once you start, you almost sort of lost a pick, kinda. You're from your pick on, you're the same as the rest of the league, basically. If you're at 29, 30, 32.
It's like not having a first round pick every year, basically.
Kind of, yeah. But
that's how I would put
I guess,
it.
but what I was getting at is that picking at the bottom of each round doesn't really matter once you've gotten past the fact that you didn't have a high pick. So you still should get good football players. I don't think it's an excuse. Yeah, it's easier to draft. It's harder to get the premium player that that the other teams are going to maybe have at left tackle for 12 years. Those guys are hard to get with other picks like that. But I do think for Brett Veach, I think it's going to, in some ways, if he has a good draft, and you're going to say, hey, this guy has really done the business. If they have a bad draft to me, I'm going to start to say, Patrick Mahomes carried your water. I'll start to think in that direction. Now, I'm still leaning towards the fact that he knows what he's doing. He was the one who picked, supposedly, Mahomes, or, insisted that they pick him. He had a couple of very good drafts early on, and that set the tone for a good run of, great run of
I was going to say
success.
A pretty good run.
A great run of success for the Chiefs, one of the best ever. But I think the reason that they are where they are right now is because they've been kind of middling for a few years now. So it's time to get back on the horse.
I would agree. It's time to get back on the horse. I do bristle a little bit at they still have won 3 of the last 6 championships.
Right. But I think that, for instance, they made a Super Bowl basically on the back of Patrick Mahomes. Period.
The
last one.
How many of Super Bowls have been won that aren't on the back of the quarterback?
No, I mean made a Super Bowl. That team, I think that team just wasn't very good, and they made the Super Bowl. And I think
2 years ago.
Yeah, and I think that was because of Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they performed some miracles, often do because of Patrick Mahomes, that are the difference between them being a team that had a nice run and a team that had a fantastic run.
Or is it just, are we being hypercritical here, that the moves that he made that I wouldn't have made, like I wouldn't have given Chris Jones this last contract. In fact, I wouldn't have given him the contract before. I would have traded him if I could have gotten something for him. Now, that's one thing. It's easy for me to sit here and be like, well, I would have traded him for 5 first-round picks. Well, maybe they tried to trade him and nobody wanted to give him anything that was worthwhile, and so they ended up paying him. Those are the things that I think it's important for people like us to sit here and admit, okay, we can say we would have traded him, but there had to have been somebody out there. And if I got a 4th for him, people are going to be awfully upset. So it's one thing to play armchair GM. It's another thing to actually be in the chair and deal with it all. But, there's more than just the draft. There is the roster construction, the managing the cap.
I think he's been kind of in a little bit of a funk there, too.
Or this is what it took to win 3 championships. This is paying the bill on the 3 championships.
I don't know if re-signing, like you said, Chris Jones, we don't know. I don't know if signing...
Well, Chris Jones, we do know re-signing him was part of a championship.
Right.
We don't... the re-signing of Trey Smith and Nick Bolton has not been.
Right.
Yet.
And Chris Jones, I'm just saying, given this same narrative, you wouldn't have done the move with Chris Jones.
But he was part of winning the championship. Like that those contracts were part of the equation that built up to a championship.
Well, since he signed his last contract, have they won one or just made one?
Didn't he sign? Well, let me look.
Yeah, so.
I got it in my head that he signed the year that they won, but let me look. Maybe I'm...
They well could have. It just doesn't seem like he's been on that contract for that long, or extension, whatever.
Current deal was signed in 24. So signed going into the year they lost the Super Bowl.
Right. So.
Okay. Fair point.
Yep. So anyway, I think just the Chiefs are,
But let me ask you
Chiefs
this.
fans should not complain if they have a few pretty good years now, and that's all, because they won 3 championships, and teams just don't do that.
Who has the hammer? Brett Veach or Andy Reid?
See, that's another thing we just really don't know.
Really?
Well, I think Andy Reid is the most important person in the organization.
If
but
Andy Reid says, this is what I want, what do you think's happening?
But I think it's probably what happens. But I'm not so sure that Andy Reid, I can't be sure that Andy Reid does that. He seemed to want to walk away from direct personnel workings, which he could have demanded, clearly, when he came here. Could have demanded anything he wanted.
To me, this roster looks like it has the fingerprints. I don't think Brett Veach said, Steve Spagnuolo, you're taking Nick Bolton. I think Steve Spagnuolo said to Brett Veach, I got to have my green dot guy.
I tend to agree with your entire scenario that you lay out.
I don't think Brett Veach went, Andy, you're going to have to play with Trey Smith because I'm going to make him the highest paid guard. I tend to think it's more Andy Reid said, keep my guard in place. Do what it takes to make sure that this line is intact.
I tend to think you're correct, too, but we don't know. We really don't
but
know.
I think when we need to mention Andy Reid's name when we're being critical, because I think the roster reflects what Andy Reid wanted.
Oh, absolutely. And I think we have to talk about Andy Reid when we talk about the diminishing returns on their offense.
100%.
Right. I mean, you've got the best quarterback in football still. Everybody says it. Nobody switched over to say,
Rex Ryan likes Josh Allen better.
Well, there's a couple people, and he's paid to be a gadfly. So,
oh, what?
I mean, they're not.
What?
They don't want everybody sitting there going, "We'll agree." I'm sure it comes up in a production. Rex, you willing to be the Josh Allen?
Gadfly?
Yeah. Just an old-timey phrase for somebody who's trying to stir the pot.
From a fly that bites livestock, especially a horsefly.
See, so kind of somebody who's a pain in the livestock.
Okay.
That's Rex Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's about right. I think he's a gadfly.
Do gadflies like feet?
I don't know if there's a gadfly that has a foot fetish. Probably out there.
Okay.
Well, he's there, so.
Yeah. So there it is.
And, then they got to have somebody who at least had some substance in his career to make audacious points, not Orlovsky career pencil holder. I'm willing to live in Connecticut. Can I have a job? And pretend I can really break down tape.
You're his biggest fan.
Oh, I am not his biggest fan. No, I am not his biggest fan at all. But, I guess it's better than, I've sort of gotten to this point. This is we can talk about basketball later, but is there anybody who's more boring than Dennis Gates? I mean, he makes Andy Reid look like a gadfly. He stands there and says nothing except for reading the stat sheet. Isn't that right? Every game? Isn't that what he does? Every game.
There's a bit of that.
I don't think he's ever told a joke. It's better than, I mean, Jerome Tang would still be on the job if he had acted like Dennis Gates this year. Now, he'd probably be getting fired anyway, but he would have been coaching games right now if he went all Dennis Gates after every game. How do you get fired doing that? You can't. You just got to serial lose. Imagine if Dennis Gates had even come a shred within acting like Jerome Tang the year they didn't win a conference game. He's in the way rear view mirror right now. He's in Modesto right now.
Yeah, he's not exactly.
No, which doesn't matter if the guy goes out and wins basketball.
The funny bone.
No, he's. I have no desire to I popped turn my car on and Bill Self is yabbing away on his coach's show. I'm listening to the rest of it. I don't remember when exactly it's on all the time, whatever, but I usually say, oh, good. This show's good. It's always good. I don't even think about listening to Dennis Gates' coach's show. Can't be good. Maybe somebody can clue me in and say, you know what, you got to see another side of Dennis Gates on the coach's show. I doubt it.
Well, do you think he's a good coach?
Yes, I think he's a good coach. I have come around to maybe getting to that point. This year is, but still, I'm not going anywhere near very good or great yet. I mean, they're so inconsistent. It's a joke. But anyway, we can do more basketball later.
No, I'm fine. Let's stay with Mizzou. What do you think is going to happen against Arkansas?
I think they'll probably come back and play a great game and win.
That's what I think too.
That's
And Acuff, it looks like, is out now. So,
yeah, so that's what they do. I mean, they were just dreadful against Oklahoma in that absolute funereal atmosphere. I mean, there was no atmosphere at that game. I don't think I've ever seen a worse atmosphere at a college basketball game, maybe, than that game. There was nothing. I mean, Oklahoma was tearing it up. They were playing great, hitting threes. You could have, you could hear somebody break wind in that arena. And still, so no home advantage for the other team, and you get trucked.
There are coaches that'll tell you, like, that's a worse environment to play in than like going in and being the road team at Allen Fieldhouse.
I think so, but when the other team, when you're maybe trying to mount a comeback or something, you're not getting any opposition. You're fully able to just play basketball, call out plays, do anything you want. Too bad for Oklahoma, but old Porter Moser better do some winning next year. Or that little.
You think there's going to be a next year?
Yeah, I think I think this is kind of a one-off. They've been pretty good under him.
He hasn't made the tournament once.
No, I think he has.
I don't think so. Am I wrong on that, Kyle? Do you remember?
I think he's made the tournament under him.
I'm looking. Hold on.
All right, maybe I'm wrong.
No, maybe I am. There's a first for everything, Danny. NIT second round, no postseason, round of 64 last year.
There you go. I thought so. But still, that's not a great tournament resume right now. So you could say, 2 postseasons.
Tied for 13th, 6-12 in the SEC, and he made the tournament.
Good on him. So yeah, there's a case for him to be fired. That's for sure. But they did make the tournament last year. They've had some nice wins here towards the end of the year. It probably depends.
Let me tell you how.
But they clearly don't give a rip.
Well, let me tell you how in his corner the University of Oklahoma is. They have not bothered to update his record this year on the Wikipedia page. Like usually that's part of the PR staff.
I would assume
updating the Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
There is no, as far as this looks, he was done at the end of the 25 season, 24-25.
Yeah, that's a bad sign always. Because it is something that somebody's supposed to take care of. It's not Wikipedia does not do it.
Here's the write-up on his days at Oklahoma. You ready? On April 2nd, 2021, Moser accepted the head coaching position at the University of Oklahoma, succeeding retired coach Lon Kruger. Moser agreed to a 6-year contract with the Sooners. He was officially announced as the Sooners head coach in a press conference on April 7th.
So this is year 5. He's got a year left. Probably won't get an extension.
But, I mean, that's it. Nobody bothered to be like,
I know.
At his time at Oklahoma, he's done this,
Right,
and he's had this many kids or that. It's like they've come up with nothing to add to his Wikipedia page since the day he was hired.
Well, he hasn't really done anything particularly noteworthy, but he did make the tournament last year with what you said was probably a little smooch. So, anyway. But there was no atmosphere in the building. Missouri still got blasted. Do I think they'll probably turn around and win this game? But, it's a very important game, that's for sure. They go 0 for 3 after the Mississippi State game. They can't just be, having champagne on ice on Selection Sunday. Or they may be looking at it and wanting to return it to the local liquor store.
You talking about Mizzou?
Yeah. I still think they'd be in, but they wouldn't.
I think Acuff being out means you better win, because if they lose to Arkansas and he doesn't play, and then they lose in what would it be, like the 8-9,
something like that? Probably. We don't know. They have so much variance in what they could be, but yeah, they're probably something. Like that.
Then I think it would be some nervousness.
Yeah,
watching the brackets.
I still think they'd get in. I still think they.
I do too, but. Yeah, I'll feel better if they win either against Arkansas or
one in the tournament.
One in the tournament.
Yeah,
you feel better.
Oh, I think they could. that'd almost be a lock at that point. I think they'd probably be on the 10 line or something like that.
They looked like they were going to gain some momentum, and we were like, okay, is this building to somebody who could make one of those Elite Eight runs?
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
And now it's just like, no, they're not. They're first or second round, then they're done.
Yeah, it does. So Kurtis, you've been a busy man. You do the sound. You do all the sound. How do you stay awake when you're cutting up Dennis Gates?
It's not easy. He's not a ball of fire.
No, he's not.
Not headlining at the Funny Bone?
Nope, he's not Eli Drinkwitz by any stretch.
Middle name is not Shecky.
Wild Man Gates. No, you can't tell whether they're up. They've just won by 20 or lost by 20.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, nothing about it. After the last game, they shot exceptionally well. Yeah, they did. And you apparently did nothing to stop it. 66%, 55 from three. Usually, that's just not somebody making a bunch of banked in shots with your defenders right in their grill.
Let's be fair. It was 62 and 54.
Oh, sorry.
But it was the second time since 05, the 04-05 season, which is how far back StatHead has reliable in-game stats, not just wins and losses. Just the second time in that run that Missouri's allowed 62 and 54 in a game. The other was in 2007 against Baylor.
Who was the coach?
Oh, that would have been Mike Anderson.
That sounded like it.
Early in Mike Anderson's run, maybe the first year.
40 minutes of heck.
Yeah, when they had. Yeah, well, I used to call it 40 minutes of what the hell. Before he started getting guys. That's back when they had Stefan Hanna and some of the cast-offs from the Quinn Snyder era. But 2 years later, they would be in the Elite Eight, so they came around pretty quickly.
Right,
but the 07 was not good.
He was a stat sheet reader too.
Yeah.
Mike Anderson.
Well, he was the roster reader.
Yeah, he was right. But
yeah, it was more.
But
we got a guy like
we got good contributions from Michael Anderson Jr.
Yeah, a guy like a J.T. Tiller or a DeMaurice Carroll or a Leo Lyons or even a Michael Anderson Jr. He always made sure his kid got in there.
The thing I liked about him was that he was so reliable when we went to Radio Row.
He said, tongue firmly planted in his cheek.
Hey, Mike, well, I'll come by after your meeting, 2 o'clock, 2 whatever, something. I'm walking the balcony. No, Mike Anderson.
Yeah.
No. 3:30 turns up somewhere. Where were you? Not here.
He was on time one time. Remember when I had the story that he was going to Arkansas?
Right.
And I put it out there, and then I went down to the game to get him to comment about it, and he lost his mind on me. And he was, pulled me aside and was reaming me.
I remember
and
that.
then, like, 10 minutes later, went to Arkansas. I said, well, I've been told it's a done deal. You're going to Arkansas. How you come down here? He never said he wasn't going to Arkansas. But how you come down here and you're going to say this, you're going to say that, you're going to do this and that? I'm like, are you going? I'm not even going to answer that.
I was with you.
So you're going.
We both went down there. I remember that.
Remember
now.
him
We're out,
chewing my ass
about
going.
That's,
I'm like, well,
tell
me I'm wrong, and I'll report that I'm wrong.
Yes.
Mike Anderson denies that he is.
That was like
non-denial denial.
Yeah.
That was like Roy's. I'd give a flip at North Carolina. I mean, I'm going there, but
yeah,
I'd give a flip about him.
I got my ass chewed by Roy too a couple times. So
Roy and I always got along.
I didn't mind. Roy would call you and tell you what he was upset about, and you'd hash it out, and then that was it. It was over.
Right.
So I never minded Roy. I appreciated that he's like, I mean, I think he was over. I think he was sensitive.
I think he was too.
And it's like, come on, really? This is what this is what we're talking about here. Like, I don't even remember. I can't even remember what it was twice. I know I got it once in the hallway and once on the phone driving back from Lawrence, and I don't even remember what it was. But I remember going, really? This is what's stuck in your britches here? Okay.
Dadgummit.
Yeah, that was the funniest thing about the North Carolina one was that he was famous for never cussing, and then he cusses on national TV.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that was,
right.
Old Roy.
Good old Roy.
Coach Roy.
I liked Roy.
I'm staying.
I did too. I liked Roy.
Yeah, he was a great coach. We'll take a break. More with Danny Clinkscale, little Danny Unleashed, brought to you by our friends at Easton Roofing. Easton Roofing has a dedicated commercial roofing division. They handle repairs and full roof replacements. Experience with TPO, EPDM, PVC, and coating systems. They work with property managers, building owners, multifamily properties, you name it. If you need any kind of roof work done in the commercial line, like I said, Easton Roofing has you covered. Founded on integrity. You can find them online right now at eastonroofing.com.
All right, the LaFetta Delicatessen, end of the hour answer. Who was the last player to have a 40-homer season for the Pittsburgh Pirates?
Barry Bonds didn't do it, did he?
Nope, 34,
No, he didn't.
I think.
Is it Pops? You got to go back to Pop Stargell?
It is Willie Stargell.
Wow.
1973.
That's Royals-esque.
It is. The most since then, 39.
For McCutcheon.
39 in 1999 by left-handed batter.
Hold on. 39 and 99? That's my fantasy baseball days. I had to nail this.
He also had a 38.
Adam LaRoche?
He had a 38 homer season in 2002.
38.
I think I'm not going to feel bad when I hear this.
Hold on.
Two-time All-Star left-handed batting outfielder.
Two-time All-Star.
Caucasian.
I figured that. I've got an idea, and
It is baseball. I don't know if you know, but they've got a problem on that front.
He has 3 of their four biggest totals and 4 of their top 7 since then. He had a 39, a 38, a 37, and a 35.
Left-handed hitter.
Mm-hmm.
Who am I forgetting?
BG.
Wow. Hold on.
Benji Gill?
Nope.
It's not Benji Gill.
I know it isn't.
He didn't even play for the Pirates, did he?
No, I don't think. No.
You're going to hate yourself. When you...
I am. BG. Brian, Bob.
You're already halfway done.
Brian Joswiak.
No.
Brian. What am I missing here? I am going to hate myself.
Brian Giles.
Oh, God.
Oh, right.
5'8", Brian Giles was pounded out that many home runs.
They listed him 5'11".
Turn of
that was the
turn of the
juice.
century. That wasn't even that many home runs then.
Yeah, he went.
I told you I wasn't going to feel bad, and I don't.
In a 4-year stretch, he had.
He was probably 15th in the league.
Yeah, 39, 35, 37, 38. They have him listed at 5'11" and 195.
Bull feathers.
I don't think he was 5'11".
No,
he was 5'11".
No way.
Wow, Brian Giles.
That's almost as amazing as the fact that they haven't had one since Stargell.
By the way, Danny, have you been to La Feta yet?
I have not, and I love delicatessen, so I got to get there. I absolutely have to get there.
You even know the owner.
I'm a delicatessen aficionado.
Going again this evening. After the show.
La Feta, LaFetaDeli.com if you want to see him online. Better yet, just get over there in person, 143rd and Metcalf. I'll be honest with you, right now is a good time to go because when they get a rush going, they get a rush.
Yeah.
Sent my brother-in-law over there. I was like, how was it? He goes, didn't go. I go, why not? He goes, well, we went. The line was out the door. So, they are quite popular. Voted Kansas City's number 2 new restaurant. Great sandwiches. La Feta Delicatessen, La Feta Italian Delicatessen. Go there. They got some great imports, too. The candies and pastas and all kinds of stuff imported from Italy and other spots in Europe, mostly from Italy. But great stuff at LaFetaDeli.com, 143rd and Metcalf.
If you've never had a sandwich with fresh ingredients on it, you will not. You'll be go, oh my God, what is this? This is the greatest thing ever.
Boards are absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Check it out at LaFetaDeli.com. Kansas. State what you said during the break.
What I said is if somebody was just dropped on the planet about 6 weeks ago and watched basketball from that point forward, they would, and then they started hearing people say, well, he's still the number 1 consensus player in the draft, and I think the person would say, you're out of your mind. I mean, just look at him play. I mean, he looks like an ordinarily good player. That's what he's played like for. Once he started playing a lot, he just looks like a good player who's had some bad games. He's shooting 36% the last 8 games.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't look aggressive. He doesn't really defend.
He's not much of a defender. I think that's an underrated aspect of what's going on here. He has not. I mean, like, if there's a switch or anything, he's out.
That's pure desire. Clearly, he's a good enough athlete to defend. Yeah, he's got length and long arms and everything you could want.
Yes.
I think if he, in the end, becomes a great NBA star, I think what will have happened is that he's just not right. He just isn't 100%. He, through the sickness and the cramping and everything, he just doesn't have the motor that everybody saw when he was a prep star and that people kept raving about all along. And maybe you saw slight glimpses of it in the bursts early in the year before he'd sit down. But he's looked pretty ordinary. I don't know how anybody could argue with that.
If they don't get to at least the second weekend, did they make a mistake by staying with him?
No, I don't think you can say that.
I agree. I'm just asking because I've heard people say. I think you're going to get a lot of people say that.
Yeah, well, they can go ahead and say it, but that for all the dog they have in some of the other players and all, Melvin Council's nice run and everything, I think he's flattened out to, a nice player who plays hard and such. That team without Peterson is not a go deep in the tournament team. Sorry. They're a team that team can spring. I've talked about this a million times in the tournament. There's no, a run to the Sweet 16 is winning 2 games.
Right.
Okay. You only got to win 3 to make the Elite 8. I mean, almost any good team is capable of doing that.
Right.
But to win 6.
I mean, NC State was in the Final Four, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? And they wouldn't have made the tournament had they not won the ACC tournament to get in.
Right.
So, I mean, teams, you can get where you have one great game where you rise up and take down a big boy, and then, one bad team and then 2 games where it's just given to you.
Right.
I mean, there are those fluky runs that happen.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. And then this Kansas team is plenty good to take advantage of those.
Yeah, sure.
But to just fight its way through Duke
all
and
the seeds,
Florida and all that.
We don't see a rash of upsets. No. And I think what we're seeing also is that the very top teams have found really found a nice gear right now. I mean, Arizona looks like a wagon right now, and Duke looks great right now, and Florida looks great right now.
Connecticut looks great. There's 5 teams that are really
yeah.
There's 3 that have earned the right that they're ones no matter what, and then there's Florida and UConn
fighting it out for the other
look
one.
like they're playing at that level as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I think those teams also, each one of them has a lot of depth, but they have a couple, a real star. Not somebody who's been deemed a star who isn't playing like a star. I mean, they have somebody who can take over a game, and maybe multiple guys who can. So, I think you still have to hope that you catch what's not supposed to be lightning in a bottle. It's just supposed to be true greatness. I can't imagine somebody today, if the NBA draft was today, you got to be out of your mind to pick him number 1. That's just too, unless you're already low. Maybe is there somebody who's really good?
I'm not so sure that he's not 3 behind Acuff too now.
Well, I think there's multiple guys he might be behind now, not just
Boozer.
Boozer. I mean, Boozer's just you're going to get 10 years of good play out of that guy. You know it. I mean, he may not be an MVP, but that's better than nothing.
It is a roll of the dice.
Sure.
With Peterson. I mean, I think it's going to be real interesting when it rolls around. Like, especially if they take a dive in the first or second round and you have almost no tournament to look at, and he will have been a part of, getting upset at that point.
Right. I mean, when did Wiggins end up get picked? Did he get picked?
He was 1.
He was 1-1.
And he stunk in the tournament, the 2 games. I mean, he had a terrible last game.
The legendary flame out at the end.
Oh, I was 8 feet watching him stand in the corner sucking his thumb against Stanford the whole game. So you can do that, and people can take it, and I think that obviously that wasn't a great pick.
No,
and it's a good to me. It's a good comp right now.
Yeah, but I mean, even Wiggins, we've discussed this before. The physical traits, they're not the same. Wiggins was
even more of an athlete, but
wasn't as skilled as you.
But Peterson is the 1-1 because of the lesson guys like Wiggins have taught them, and Ben Simmons. Like, if you can't shoot, you can't go 1 anymore.
And he can shoot.
He can. Right. That's what I'm saying. That's
skill.
one of the reasons why they would have been all about Boozer, and they would have been like 10 years ago. If this group we're talking about him, it would have been all Boozer. 20 years ago, it had been some stiff center.
Right.
Would have been who would be talking about right now. But now, like, the game is so much about the 3-pointer. You have to be able to shoot. It's one of the main reasons why Peterson was ahead of DeBanza, as soon as this year started, because he was hitting threes. And DeBanza's, that's not a great part of his game. And it doesn't really look quite right when he shoots it.
Right. And while Peterson hasn't shot well at all recently, when you see him shoot,
You can tell he knows what he's
shot.
doing.
Yeah,
Yes.
It's a lovely shot. Beautiful shot.
It's all fundamentally sound and
Yeah.
looks
Very
the part.
repeatable.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of moving parts.
Yeah. So, all right. So, how far does Kansas go?
Yeah, the way they're playing right now, I'm just going to say they're going to win a game. A game.
Yeah. And
I
round two?
think Sweet 16 right now would be good the way they played, but they still, we have fascinating two teams to view for NCAA tournament play in all likelihood. I think Missouri's going to make it because these teams have a ceiling that you can dream about. You don't have to squint too much, but I'm going to have to judge on what have they played now? 30 games? 30 games of evidence shows me that there are maybe, if they are playing on the second weekend, you got to be pretty happy.
Especially when, and this is obviously the bracketologies are somewhat more reliable for what seed a team might be than who they might get in the second round.
Right. You think?
A little bit, but just a smidge. But if Lunardi's recent
Captain Obvious.
Hello, yes, it's also Friday.
Yeah. Well, let's play it out from the bracketology.
Yes.
Mizzou 10, Miami 7.
Yeah.
That's a very winnable game.
Yes.
It is a winnable game, but
part of the reason why I think it's winnable, have not seen Miami play once. I don't know anything about Miami.
I was going to say I've watched them play twice recently, and
have you really?
They actually are looking pretty good, and I think Jay Lucas is going to be a good coach.
Okay.
So
okay.
I think that's a tough game actually, but
okay. And the next would be Michigan State.
Good luck.
Out.
I liked it better when they were playing well, and the two they were matched up with was Purdue. Although Purdue's a really good defensive team, they're not exactly a March.
Well, that's what
monster.
I mean about this tournament. I think people saying the days of completely wide open, I think for now are gone. Michigan State is a tier 2 team. If we were Mike Sando, and they're good. I mean, they're really good.
Yeah. Kansas is out.
Yeah.
Kansas Liberty in the opener.
Well, Jesus can go to fight for liberty. So. They got a prayer's chance there.
Which one are you looking at, by the way? You're looking at CBS?
I'm looking at ESPN's.
Okay.
And then the 4-5 would be Kansas, Arkansas.
You know what? That's winnable. That is winnable. Arkansas is a box of chocolates too.
Yeah.
But they could also do what's happened to Kansas a lot in the tournament, put 100 on you.
And we don't know what the situation is with Acuff. Right. It's undisclosed. Right. If it's he's doubtful for tomorrow, but if he's okay, then. But if it's something like, oh crap,
Sweet 16 would be Michigan.
No.
No.
It ends right there for sure.
No, thank you.
That would be a game where you'd have to have number 1 draft pick Darren Peterson.
Yeah,
he goes for 34, and you upset Michigan. That's what you'd have to have. Goes out there and has a good game. He scores 18 or 20. No.
But when he scored that much, they haven't won.
I think
year.
what we've seen. The other part that's a problem is that Badunga is a monster against peewees. He's a monster on the inside when you play an ordinary squad. What we saw against Arizona is he's just ineffectual. He's not big enough.
Yeah. Well, Tiller's got to.
Well, yeah, Tiller's been
step up and do something as well. I mean, he's on the floor.
Right.
You wouldn't know it at times, but he's on the floor.
That's about it. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll take a break. Danny Klingscale is with us. Maybe a little baseball. The Kansas City Royals. We'll get his thoughts on spring training so far. It's Danny Unleashed, brought to you by our friends at Easton Roofing. You can find them online at eastonroofing.com. They offer residential roof repairs and full replacements. Some companies don't do repairs. They only push for that full replacement, not Easton Roofing. Happy to do a repair if that's all you need. Free storm damage inspections as well. They document the damage, walk you through the next steps. Filing the claim properly, that's an important part of the equation. Easton can guide you through that entire process. Known for honest communications and clear expectations. It's Easton Roofing. Find them online at eastonroofing.com.
The program with Soren Petro.
It is said that he was born under the open sky. at the base of the glacier. That is not true.
Weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Listen up, Kansas City. Your Kansas City Mavericks are back home tonight and tomorrow against the Tahoe Night Monsters. That's right. Cable Dahmer Arena, where parking is always free, is where you can see your first-place Kansas City Mavericks. Right? They're first in the ECHL standings, and they won again on Wednesday night, 6-1 over the Tulsa Oilers. Saturday is spring break night. And don't miss the pregame giveaway on Saturday, plus a postgame skate after Saturday's game. It's a great time to experience Mavericks hockey for the first time. If you've never been, what are you waiting for? Get over to Cable Dahmer Arena. Cheer on the Mavs as they prepare for a run at the Kelly Cup. Tickets can be had at kcmavericks.com. That's kcmavericks.com, or by calling 816-252-7825. Remember, parking's always free at Cable Dahmer Arena, and the action is hard-hitting and fast-paced. You're going to love it. There's not a bad seat in the house, so get your tickets right now. Go to kcmavericks.com. That's kcmavericks.com, or call 816-252-7825. Get loud. They need the Orange Army this weekend as they take on the Tahoe Night Monsters. Get your tickets at kcmavericks.com.
March means March Madness.
Gillespie crosses over, bounce pass to a rolling Brown down the center of the lane. Right hand thrown out. Hello, Dwayne Brown.
The Tennessee Volunteers are definitely one of the SEC teams headed to the big dance. But how many will make the cut? And whose bubble will burst? Answers are just a week away. Don't miss any of Westwood One's exclusive NCAA tournament coverage right here.
O'Reilly. Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, get 5 quarts of Valvoline full synthetic motor oil and a MicroGuard Select oil filter for $36.99. Limits apply. See store for details. Trust our professional parts people to recommend the
Danny Unleashed is proudly brought to you by our friends at Easton Roofing. Siding, yes, they repair and replace siding. It is a great, they even have like a a visualizer tool where you can see what the siding will look like on your real house. Great way to upgrade your curb appeal, protect your home. They have everything you need, ideal for the homeowner that doesn't want any maintenance. Is that you, Danny?
That would be me.
They partner with James Hardie Siding Products. James Hardie Fiber Cement is known for durability and long-term performance. It's got to be installed, though, according to manufacturer standards. That's what Easton Roofing does. They make sure that it's installed right. If you don't install it right, you can have some problems. So make sure you go with an expert. Go with our friends at Easton Roofing, designed to hold up to the Kansas City weather, which we know gets hot, 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 and cold, cold, cold. Paint fade warranties up to 15 years. It's Easton Roofing. Find them online at eastonroofing.com. How about these Royals, Danny?
I am
Starling Marte. It's all fixed.
I like the signing.
I do too.
It's low risk. The risk is that
I think for 1 year they're a better team having him and Chris Bubich than moving Bubich in a deal that brought them Brendan Donovan. For 1 year. For the long haul,
I agree with that.
I don't think Bubich is going to be around next year. For the long haul, I'd rather have Brendan Donovan. But for this year, they're a better team.
I agree with that. I think that the only risk you have is that you waste 100 at-bats on Marte, and he goes all, I don't know.
Old? Also,
yeah, right.
It's done?
Who was Juan Gonzalez.
Oh, yeah. They had Juan gone and
don't you remember?
And Benito Santiago.
Right, Juan gone, and he
was gone.
He was gone by So if he plays, he's playing in a more than a platoon, and he stinks, and maybe you lose a couple games because you don't score. And, well, you're experimenting with that. I mean, he's 37. It's not a non-steroid issue. He was okay last year, but not great in a strict platoon.
By the way, do you know that Juan Gonzalez OPS 767 for the Royals that year?
Really?
I mean, he would have been a star. Now, the problem was he played in 33 games.
Oh, yeah. That's
but he had 5 home runs, 4 doubles, a triple, 276, 326, 441, which for this team would have made him the best hitting outfielder that they had last year. I was like, how bad was it?
And it wasn't that bad. I thought it was worse.
Well, I did too.
He got hurt.
He didn't play. That was the problem. And when he did play, there was not much effort. Remember him traipsing around right field in Fenway?
Wandering.
Pokey Reese gave up an inside the park to Pokey Reese as he chased the ball around, as it bounded around the corners.
But
that's not big enough for Pokey Reese to be turning the corner.
No.
We were in the stadium for that turd.
If Marte...
You were on that trip, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that the Freddie Patek trip?
Oh, yeah. The guy mouthing off to Freddie.
Off.
Yeah, that was me and you. We were the ones who turned around.
Turned around and said,
punch the guy after Freddie
and
left.
He was all
this guy
buddy.
had 3 homers in a game here.
We had these. If people had heard the story, we were sitting with Freddie and his wife out in right field, and on the Friday night game, and they were just giving us grief and giving giving Freddie grief.
But they didn't know it was Freddie immediately.
Well, because Freddie's not a big guy.
But he was rooting,
Yeah, he was rooting for the Royals, and he and his wife left. And when they left, Danny and I just turned around and said, I think there was an MFer in there. That guy hit 3 home runs at this ballpark.
Right.
Okay?
Yes.
So you shut your mouth. He's too good a guy to turn around and be, let me tell you something, buddy. You know what I did?
And to the guy's credit, he did sort of apologize, and he was buddy with us.
Then he wanted to be at
Jillian's.
You going to be here next night?
He showed up at Jillian's.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, the place we went to, which is Dave and Buster's of the East, basically.
And if Freddie had gotten his hands on that guy's, he would have known, that's, I don't want to trifle with those those mitts.
Forearms. Anyway, if Marte did that for his year here, that'd be fine. He would be fine. He would be an addition. He's still he once was a Gold Glover. He's older now, but I mean, it's not like he's going to gone out there.
Yeah. He's going to be a
competent fielder. Yeah, so I like the move. I like a lot of things that the Royals have to offer. I would probably take the over on their win-loss total,
81.5.
But I think they're a volatile team.
Why?
Again, because I think they could not be good.
Why? How? How dare you?
Their pitching gets.
It's supposed to be Danny Unleashed,
hurt.
not Danny Craps on the town.
I said I would pick the over, so
Right.
I'm
Well,
optimistic.
I
think they're vulnerable.
See,
I think they could not hit it. You know, we don't know if Carter Jensen and Jack Caglione goes like he did last year, and Carter Jensen, that was kind of
then they're last year's Royals.
They're flash in the pan.
Who won 82 games.
Right.
That's my point.
And their pitchers are a year older, and they're old pitchers.
Well, Reagans and Bubich aren't old.
No.
Neither's Noah Cameron. There are two old pitchers,
Well,
Lugo and Waka.
Right, and they were important.
Estevez is older, I'll give you that. Strom's not young.
Right.
But my feeling is that they're actually a high floor team. I don't think there's a huge ceiling. I think if there is a huge ceiling, it's if Carter Jensen and Jack Caglione are stars.
Right.
If you drop them in and they're stars and all of a sudden Vinny Pasquantino's batting fifth or something like that, then okay.
Oh, if my dream for this team, and I won't do it certainly at first, but it should be if they're a real team and a real contender if Sal's hitting seventh when he plays.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
That would be great.
I mean, but I think they're a high floor team. I don't think both those guys in their first full year in the big leagues are going to be stars. Okay, I think Carter Jensen might be pretty damn good.
But I don't think they're going to be. I agree. I don't think they're going to be bad.
But,
I think Caglione has enough raw power that you'll get something out of him. And if they have to strictly platoon him because he's just overmatched against lefties and he strikes out all the time, so be it. So I'm generally optimistic about the Royals. Yeah. But I think they have they don't have star power except for Witt right now, and so they have some guys who are question marks. I'm not 100% that we've found the real Michael Garcia.
No, I agree. I want to see one more year before I go, okay, this is who he is.
This is who he is, yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Danny, appreciate it. Have a great weekend.
Always fun.
All right, Lefty Grove has the highest win percentage for pitchers with 300 wins. Who has the highest with 200 wins? Brought to you by La Feta Delicatessen.
Pack your bags, start the car, and get on the road. It's time to go across the country, 2 minutes at a time, for the biggest stories of the day, where they're happening.
Detroit, Michigan, Boston, Massachusetts, Las Vegas, Nevada, New York, Cleveland, Ohio, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
It's the 2-minute drill on the program.
Second half of the program begins right now. Still to come, Ari Temkin from the Big 12 Network will be with us to talk some SEC basketball. No, I'm just kidding. Big 12. He'll talk Big 12. Get into the Big 12. Talk about the court. Did you hear Mick talking about like when you're shooting free throws down on one end, they're putting stats on the floor at the other end? It's like your own TV going on right there. So
I will say the court today looks better than the court did yesterday. It's much less busy. It doesn't have that Big 12 pattern. It's just kind of dark, dark inside the circle, a little lighter.
How Mick described it as the Big 12 Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looked like. It's much cleaner today.
It is the program here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Time for the 2-minute drill brought to you by our friends at Jocelyn's Jewelry. Gary and his staff, Kansas City's best 45-plus years. Jocelyn's Jewelry has been bringing smiles to people's face with beautiful jewelry. Only scintillating diamonds are good enough for Gary Jocelyn. If he wouldn't put it on his wife's hand, he doesn't sell it in his store. Happy to do repairs as well. You can find them right there at 95th and Antioch on the southeast corner. Find them online at jocelyn'sjewelry.com. Almost 1,000 engagement rings to choose from. It is the gold standard in fine jewelry. It's Jocelyn's Jewelry. Let's get things started. In Seattle, Washington, Softy Mahler, KJR in Seattle, leads off. Softy, how are you, buddy?
Good, as always. Thank you to Jocelyn, Kansas City's most trusted jewelry store, and Gary for sponsoring the radio program.
There you go. Yes, we thank Gary as well. Can't do it without sponsors. You know that, right? That's a big part.
No, we can't. By the way, is there a bigger whiner in college basketball? You know what? Let me rephrase that. Is there a bigger whiner in sports right now than Mick Cronin?
I don't think so. Don't raise your voice to him, though. He'll...
Yeah, I mean, that was like Mick Cronin must either A, not be married, or B, never really have been in a serious relationship, because he has no idea what raising your voice actually sounds like when somebody raises your voice. You ever see the movie Anger Management with Adam Sandler?
Yes.
When he's on the plane and the guy's staring at him, he's like, "Sir, stop raising your voice." He's like, "I'm not." And that's like, Mick, what are you talking about? You know what, Soren? I wish I was that reporter that he did that to, because I would have gone off on him right in front of his fat, bald face. I would have loved it. I would have loved going off on that little whiny shrimp. There's not a bigger whiner today in sports. I'm telling you, man. European soccer players don't whine as much as Mick Cronin does. What a freaking clown he is. Anyway, how are you?
I love it. Softy Mahler, we appreciate it, buddy. Have yourself a good... No, I'm just kidding.
Perfect. See you later.
That was a mic drop moment, though. I liked it a lot. Let's at least get in Kenneth Walker, if you don't mind. Why did they not throw the franchise tag on Kenneth Walker?
Because John Schneider doesn't franchise anybody. The last player he franchised, as a matter of fact, the last player of the Seahawks franchise was Alindo Mare. Remember the kicker way back in the day? He's the last one. So they don't use the franchise tag on anybody in Seattle, man, because they have, just like kind of, I think, your thoughts on why they got rid of McDuffie. They've got super-duper confidence they can replace them for a cheaper option. And I think the Seahawks feel the same way about Kenny Walker. I think what's going on right now is simple, man. Kenny Walker and Kenny Walker's representatives see the only time in his life as a professional where he will be able to strike with the iron scalding hot, coming off a great 6-game run where you can argue he was the MVP of the playoffs, not just the Super Bowl. I mean, look at his numbers, man, going back to like the middle of December. He was putting up McCaffrey-like numbers. So I think if you're Kenny Walker, outside of getting your doors blown off by the Seahawks with an offer you can't refuse, he was always going to go to free agency. He's almost got to go to free agency, right? Just to see what's out there after coming off the greatest run of his professional life. So I don't blame the guy whatsoever. I don't think it's necessarily a lock that he's gone. If I had to bet, I'd say he's gone. But I think most of this, Soren, is more driven by Kenny Walker, and he should, again, just having a desire coming off that great run to see what's out there.
Can he catch the ball? It seemed like he caught the ball a little bit
Yes.
more when Charbonnet went down. I mean, if because the Chiefs have been mentioned as a possibility for him, can he be an all-around back?
1,000%. He can do it all. He's not a great blocker. I will say that. If there's a weakness in his game, it's getting him off the field on third down. But he can absolutely catch. Again, look at his numbers, running and catching. The last 6 games of the year, I think overall he was on pace for a 17-game season to go for like 2,100 yards, which, I get it. It was only 6 games and not 17, but that's the type of production he was given this football team in the final month and a half of the year. And just going back to it for a second from a Seahawks perspective, they might need to overpay to bring him back a little bit because Charbonnet blew his knee out. He's not going to be ready in September. So if Kenny Walker walks, they're going to have 2 new running backs in their depth chart in week 1 as they defend their title.
Who will they bring back? They've got a list of free agents, Bryant, Rashid Shaheed, Boye Mafe. Tariq Woolen, who do they end up bringing back?
Yeah, I think Kobe Bryant is going to return. Reek Woolen, I'm really curious to see what the market looks like for him. He's been really kind of an up-and-down player. He's kind of a hothead. You saw what happened in that Ram game when he got yelled at by a referee to calm down, didn't calm down, drew a 15-yard flag, and then immediately gives up a touchdown on the very next play. And if the Seahawks had lost that game, he would have been barbecued forever by the fan base. But he's also had some good days. And keep in mind, this is a guy that barely played football until he got to San Antonio. I mean, he was a late bloomer, and he was a 5th-round draft pick because of it. But the measurables are off the charts. I just wonder if there's going to be a general manager and owner somewhere out there that falls in love with another Seahawk defender, like people did, the LOB and Byron Maxwell when he became a free agent back in the day. So I think he might get an offer that's too rich for the Seahawks' blood. Boye Mafe, I think, is going to walk. Rashid Shaheed, I'm very curious to see what kind of market there is for him because, Soren, Rashid Shaheed in 9 games in Seattle did hardly anything as a pass catcher. His damage was done on special teams, and now they're talking about him making $14, $15 million a year. There's no chance in heck the Seahawks are paying Rashid Shaheed $15 million a year to just be a specialist and return kicks and punts. They got Torrey Horton coming off the injury, the second-year guy. He's going to be a factor next season, but I think there's a chance they lose a lot more guys than they retain, to be honest with you.
The Mariners pitching staff gave up 27 runs. Bryce Miller dealing with an oblique issue. How concerned are we about their pitching?
It was spring training, right? That's the game you're talking about? Yeah, I'm not concerned at all. It's spring training. Ridiculous.
Is it? Do you think it's going to be as good as it was last year? I mean, last year, didn't they just start the 5 guys all year?
No, that was a couple years ago. Last year they had Logan Gilbert, Brian Wu, and Bryce Miller. I'm sorry, George Kirby and Bryce Miller. Those 3 guys missed a ton of games last season, a ton. And that's one concern. If they do get banged up again, they don't have the depth they had maybe a couple years ago when they had guys like Robbie Ray and Marco Gonzalez, and right now their number 6 guy is a kid named Emerson Hancock who's been going back and forth from the rotation to the bullpen to the rotation again. So I don't know. I don't know what his plans are, but yeah, they had a lot of injuries in their rotation a year ago. I mean, look, I would have no problem with the Mariners just running everybody back and doing it again, but that's not happening because Polanco plays for the Mets and Suarez plays for the Reds. So they went out and got Rex Snyder. They went out and got Brendan Donovan, made the trade for the reliever from the Nationals who they could have used last year in Game 7 against Toronto. But, we'll see. I mean, this is all about just getting a little bit of luck to go your way come playoff time and getting yourself as many cracks at the roulette table come postseason.
Yeah, nice that the Seahawks won. Mariners never been to the World Series. That's still intact.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me of that. Why don't you remind me that the Sonics play in Oklahoma, too?
Well, how about the NBA? Are we going to finally hear in March that the NBA is coming back?
You're killing me. It's a Friday, and you're killing me. I think the NBA is coming back. I think we're going to find out in July, if not late September, early October. But I'm telling you right now, Soren, if the NBA announces after some, conversing about the subject over the summer that they've decided to not expand for a while, I think there's going to be a lot of basketball fans in this city that are just going to say the hell with it. We're done. Because they've been jacking us around for 20 years almost here. Chris Hansen bought Sacramento from the Maloof brothers. NBA denied it. We've had all kinds of talk about expansion now for the last 4 or 5 years. They asked us to build the arena. We have the arena, and now it's time. It's time to get this league back. There's plenty of towns across America that don't support the NBA, that have basketball teams. I'd be fine with relocation. I know most Sonic fans would love to have a brand new team, but if it comes down to New Orleans or Portland or Memphis or whoever moving to Seattle, I'm fine with that. But it's now beyond time. It's been almost 20 years, and it's time.
Yeah, there's some reports out there they can make a decision as soon as March, so we'll see if that ends up rolling around. Softy, great stuff as always, buddy. We appreciate it. Have yourself a great weekend, my friend.
Okay.
Brian D., WTMJ in Milwaukee, Wisconsin is next. Brian, how are you, buddy?
I am doing awesome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, the passing of Bob Harlan. Of course, Kevin Harlan, great friend of the program, comes on with us all the time. And we know how great Kevin is. We've talked about what a great reflection he is on Bob. But Bob, one of the more impactful people in the history of the NFL with what he did as the president of the Packers. What's the feeling like around Milwaukee and the Wisconsin area with the passing of Bob Harlan?
Yeah, I think it's a mix of obviously sadness, but also great pride, right? Like, you can't tell the story of the Green Bay Packers without mentioning Bob Harlan probably in the first, paragraph of the Wikipedia page in terms of the impact that he had not only on the growth of the team, but keeping the team in Green Bay. So I think there's a tremendous sadness and reverence and understanding for what he meant to this organization and really to what that family means to the state of Wisconsin. So, I'm only, 33 years old. I certainly don't have the reverence of the older generation that saw him oversee the stock sale and the growth of the stadium. And, the Packers, people forget now because of what the organization has become in the 90s, 2000s, and 2010s. But, prior to that, there were some lean years in the 70s and 80s prior to my time. And the organization was, tiptoeing around moving, which seems like an inexplicable impossible to understand idea for a lot of football fans that the Packers would move out of Green Bay, but it was real if they didn't get some stadium things done, and Bob Harlan was maybe the name that was able to usher them into a new era in terms of building that stadium to what it is, getting the team back competitive with bringing the Favre era in and obviously starting to win Super Bowls again. So to answer your question, I think it's a mix of sadness but also great reverence and appreciation that he was able to do what he did for our state.
Yeah. What are the let's talk about the team on the field. Malik Willis is considered the best quarterback available in free agency. I mean, are we serious about that? Do you concur that he's got that kind of upside?
I'll tell you this much. Every time he got into a football game over the last 2 seasons, which was actually quite a bit because Jordan Love has been nicked up, he was phenomenal. He won football games this year that he lost against Baltimore late in the season. He played amazing. Now, obviously, I think nationally, if you didn't watch those games, the last memory in your head that you have of Malik Willis was watching him flame out with Tennessee. But he was terrific when he got into games for the Packers over the last 2 seasons, not just this year. And it wasn't just, you think backup quarterback, you think game manager, let's hand the ball off, let's bleed some clock, and let's win a game 13-10. They let him go out there and sling it. And if you're casually interested, go back and watch the highlights of him play against the Baltimore Ravens in a must-win game for both of those teams late in the season. He was throwing that football around like crazy, down the field, whole shots in zone. Like, he played great, and I think it's a testament to what Matt LaFleur and the coaching staff were able to do with him, not just in his skill set and getting him, fundamentally back on track, but also his confidence. I mean, that guy's confidence could not have been lower after he flamed out with the Titans, and now he's staring down the barrel of a great payday in hopefully a couple of days here. So, I think whoever gets him, and I'm guessing it'll be Miami, Soren, just because that's becoming Packers South with Jeff Hafley and John Eric Sullivan taking over that new regime. They're going to get an up-and-coming quarterback that at minimum will be a bridge stopgap until they draft a guy and find somebody young and ready to take over.
What's on the agenda for the Packers in the offseason? What are they looking at in free agency? What do you expect them to do with their 8 draft picks?
I think they need to rework the back end of their defense a little bit. Their secondary outside of Xavier McKinney, who's an all-pro, is in pretty rough shape. So they got to work on that. And then the offensive line, I just alluded to Jordan Love being banged up a little bit over the last 2 seasons. Their offensive line, since Aaron Rodgers left, has regressed and regressed and regressed. So it'll be difficult because they don't have a first-round pick this year. They spent that on Rashawn Gary last summer, early fall. Or not Rashawn Gary, excuse me. He's front of mind today for other reasons. Micah Parsons. They spent that first-round pick on Micah Parsons in that trade. So they're going to have to do it without a first-round draft pick and really hit on some draft picks, which has been a pretty big issue for Brian Gutekunst in that front office. But I think it starts with the offensive line, and then they need some good cornerbacks and some depth in the secondary because they just did not play well. And that was one of the bugaboos that led to that 25-point fourth quarter for the Chicago Bears that knocked them out of the postseason.
You said they need offensive line, but they're letting Rasheed Walker walk, it sounds
Correct.
like. Why?
Yeah. I think it's, a lot of it is pricing themselves out and also belief in a prior first-round pick in Jordan Morgan, who at the time didn't make a whole lot of sense. They spent large money on a late first-round pick and a guy that they believe in that hasn't got an opportunity to play. So the cupboard is stocked, and this feels like a pricing himself out of Green Bay move with a guy that's sort of waiting in the wings in year 3 that hasn't got an opportunity to play yet. So I don't know that they have a perfect plan, but they're going to try and piece it together with what they have in the cupboard.
Yeah, all right. We'll see what they're able to get done. Giannis is back. Why?
Great question. That team looks worse with him out there than they did with him. They had won 8 out of 10 games without Giannis. Immediately when he came back, they've lost 5 in a row. They are out of the play-in conversation right now. Giannis is only risking injury. Now, it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. Like, what are you going to do? Tell Giannis not to play if he feels healthy? Quite frankly, I think they should have traded him at the deadline. I was surprised that they didn't. But the cost is not going to go down for Giannis and Antetokounmpo. They're going to get their value, whether it's the trade deadline or this offseason or whatever. But I think what's happening now is just further evidence to the Bucks organization that they need to trade him. He looks miserable out there. He's angry at the world. He's throwing basketballs at the stanchion. He just looks like he's not having any fun at all. This thing has run its course. It's over with, and I think they need to press the reset button probably around the NBA draft lottery. Now that's going to be the next opportunity they have to cash in their chips at high value. So I think, again, like we've been talking about for a couple of months, it feels like just a matter of time, and every day is more evidence that they need to move on and get some picks and kind of restart this thing.
Tell me Jackson Churio's okay since he's on my fantasy team, getting hit in the hand, playing for Venezuela in the WBC. What's the story on him?
I sure hope so. That was definitely a scare for everybody to see that he wasn't in the lineup for Venezuela after he took a pitch to the hand. All reports are that he's going to be okay, but it kind of puts this whole World Baseball Classic into perspective, right? And we get it. We all just came off the Olympics where there was a tremendous amount of national and international pride in all these games, and it's cool to see the players compete. And I'm sure we'll get back there with the World Baseball Classic, but certainly in Milwaukee, everybody took a deep breath and went, what just happened to Jackson Churio in these relatively meaningless games 3 weeks before opening day? They need him healthy, especially having moved on from Freddie Peralta and trading him to New York. Their pitching staff is going to take a while to get their ducks in a row, so they need their offense to start hot. So I'll be curious to see what the month of April looks like for the Milwaukee Brewers, just because that pitching that we thought was going to be steady is now a little bit of a question mark.
But the expectation is still that they'll be back in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think so. They won the division last year. They had the most wins in Major League Baseball. Now, a lot of that was because Freddie Peralta was out there every 5 days just reliably pitching, but they've been as good as anybody in baseball in home-growing pitching and starting pitching, and I think they believe in some guys that were long middle relievers last year that can jump into the starting rotation. Chad Patrick, hopefully one of those guys that steps up, and they've got a freaking Jacob Mizorowski that was an all-star after just 4 starts last year. So they always seem to find a way to develop. Their farm system's one of the best in baseball. It always is, and I think they believe in their young guys that they'll be able to grow as long as they get the star power offense from guys like Jackson Churio and Christian Yelich.
Brian D. in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Great stuff, buddy. We appreciate it. Have yourself a great weekend.
You too. Thanks much.
Sal Capaccio is up in Buffalo, New York. Bill's Sideline, WGR in Buffalo. Sal, how are you, buddy?
Great to see you, and thanks for calling me on NHL trade deadline day. I'm sure we're here to talk about hockey.
Well, what are they going to get done, and how optimistic are the Sabres?
Listen, the Sabres have the longest playoff drought in the NHL. It's tied for the longest playoff drought in North American sports with the New York Jets, and they're going to break it. They're tied with the Tampa Bay Lightning right now for first in the Atlantic, and they're young and they're good, and they're going to be here for a while, and this is exciting for all of us here in Buffalo.
Will they make a move to solidify the team and make a push?
Yeah, so the deadline just passed a couple hours ago, and they acquired a couple of depth defensemen and a depth forward. But you know what really sucks is in the NHL you have all these no movement clauses and no trade clauses, and because of the stank of 14 years, they traded for two different people who said, I don't want to go there. So we're gonna have to get rid of that here in Buffalo, but it takes winning first. But they're gonna be okay, and they made a couple of moves, and they're gonna be just fine.
Bills making moves. Some people questioning it. Second round pick for DJ Moore, than giving him $100 million over 4 years. Good move, bad move?
Well, I love the player. I don't love the compensation. It's a little heavy for me, Soren, but they're going to rework the contract a little bit, so they're going to actually only count about $6 million on the cap this year, but they will actually have to pay for that money down the road, as you know. So you worry about that when you worry about that, is my philosophy when you're in a Super Bowl window. Look, I mean, we all know the Bills' situation here with Josh Allen not getting to a Super Bowl yet in the first 8 years of his career. They need to win, and they're trying to win. And if that means that you have to part with, some draft picks or pay a little more, you do it. I don't love the compensation, but I totally get it. This is not a team that's trying to build and win 3 years from now.
What are they going to do as far as their free agents go? They've got a lot on the defensive side, a lot of the defensive line, Bosa, Ipaneza, Matt Milano, who we know is the greatest player of all time, according to Buffalo Bills fans. What do they do? A couple of offensive linemen as well. How many of those guys are going to be back?
Cannot see Connor McGovern or David Edwards returning on the offensive line. They'll plug them in with a couple of younger guys, Cedric Van Fran Granger and Alec Anderson. Defensively, it's a whole new defense. Jim Leonard's defense coming in. You guys are familiar with what he did in Denver with Vance Joseph, and they're going to have that same philosophy, and it's going to look different. So Matt Milano's most likely not going to be a Buffalo Bill next year. They just today released Taylor Rapp, Curtis Samuel, and Taron Johnson, who's been a great nickel corner. So that happened today. They're saving $12 million in those releases. I think Leo Chanel actually is a very good fit for Jim Leonard's defense. He played with him in Kansas City. In Wisconsin. Of course, you guys know him in Kansas City. And they're going to be looking a lot different on defense next year.
Yeah, interesting. What do they do in the draft? Well, they're down towards the bottom, but you got any feel for where they're going to go at 26?
So I still think wide receiver could be a play, but with DJ Moore in the trade there, you're probably looking at helping out the defense a little bit. They're still going to be looking for a safety. They're going to be looking to replenish the linebacker core a little bit, pass rusher. I still wouldn't discount wide receiver, though. I do think, even though you get DJ Moore, I mean, think about it this way, Soren. DJ Moore, as good of a player he is, he's like the Bills' number one guy, and he's not a true number one, so I think you still need to add there.
Yeah, I could see him going wide receiver. I think a lot of times just go ahead and equip Josh Allen with everything he needs. I mean, protect him and figure out the defensive side of the ball. You've got an offensive-minded head coach right now. So, I don't know. I think it's what are the early returns? I know you haven't had a chance to be around Brady much, and he hasn't coached any games, but does he feel head coach-like?
Yeah, so I think initially I had some questions about that because I know Joe pretty well, and, he's such a great energy, positive guy, but a head coach has to be a CEO, and he's got to be able to be tough when he needs to be tough. And we've talked with Joe about this. We've talked with Brandon Beane about it. He said it was part of the interview process of, can you coach guys hard when you need to after being in that position? And I like Joe's response. He said, I can coach guys hard because of that relationship. They know it's coming from a good place. And I think that Joe's going to allow guys to have their own personality and to be able to breathe a little bit. And I'm not saying Sean didn't do that, but, Sean McDermott ran a tight ship. And I think that the pressure of, being around Sean a lot kind of just need to kind of have that balloon popped a little bit, and I think that's why Joe Brady is kind of a bit of a breath of fresh air in that regard in the Bills at One Bills Drive.
Yeah, all right, we'll see what they do this offseason. A lot of players, a lot of movement going on that roster, but of course the quarterback's still in place. It's the most important part of the equation. Sal Capaccio in Buffalo, New York. Great stuff, buddy. We appreciate it. Have a great weekend.
All right, you too, buddy. Thank you.
When I get my car back activated, I'm back to Vegas.
Steve Cofield from ESPN Las Vegas, coming to us from San Diego as he is out with UNLV and San Diego State tonight. Cofield, how are you, sir?
I'm good, Soren. How are you?
I'm doing very good. The Raiders, can you believe that the Geno Smith era looks like it's coming to an end already?
So much productivity, it's a sad ending.
$58.5 million and a third-round pick. Did they get their money's worth?
It was an awful deal. He played like hell, and now he's put himself in a position of probably not having a starting quarterback gig at the beginning of the season, unless you guys want him in Kansas City, right? A little bridge before Mahomes comes back?
Yeah, no, I'll pass.
Okay.
No, not going to go there. Is everybody on board with Mendoza being the guy? I mean, or is it just like, look, we got the number one, we got to take a quarterback?
Everybody being Raider Nation, yeah, they're all on board. There's a few dissenters. Within the organization, we have no idea. They're actually, believe it or not, even though there's some other stories where there's some leaks, Raiders have actually kind of tied up a lot of the loose ends with the rumor mill, so there haven't been a whole lot of reactions from within the organization. I mean, I think they're still in the evaluation process, so they're going to get a chance to see him throw relatively soon. They got at least an initial interview with him at the Combine, so I think they're mostly in, although one of the things we're going to talk about today on our show is John Spytek, the GM, made a point of saying he doesn't necessarily love rookie quarterbacks to come in and start right away, so I don't know if he was talking about Mendoza, so we'll see. Maybe they don't believe he's ready to go, and he'll get a little more of a Drake May, type treatment where, doesn't get the ball right out of the gates. But I think, unless they're blown away by, morons with the Jets or the Cardinals with some deal where they're getting 4 first-round picks, I think Mendoza's going to be the guy.
All right. Tell me, what's going to happen with Max Crosby? There were some reports that they were close to getting a deal done with the Cowboys, maybe even as recent as last night. What ultimately ends up playing out here?
I would say 98% sure he's on the move, and I think right now they're just going through the multiple offers, trying to hold someone hostage for multiple first-round picks. My guess is they won't get multiple first-round picks. They'll get a first, and maybe they get a player and some additional picks for this year or next year. But he does. They can't get the same deal that Micah Parsons drew. And here's the other thing, and this has been my big take on local radio here in Vegas. Max Crosby was insubordinate 2 weeks out from the end of the season. He's the one who acted like a baby and stormed out of the facility on a Friday when they told him, hey, you're going to be shut down for the last 2 weeks of the season. He's the one who posted some Instagram videos suggesting, no, he was healthy. Look, he's on a trampoline and he's shooting baskets. And then, of course, day after the season, he gets surgery, and now the surgery turned out to be more serious. And he's the one who also no-showed the Sunday game that week. So, that kind of stuff I think gets around the league that Max can be a little bit drama. He's been portrayed as this guy who's, all nuts and bolts and football. He likes the attention. He became a guy who was a little bit difficult to, say, manage behind the scenes in a losing organization. Those things happen. So there's another side to the story with Max. He's not the perfect guy that's being sent elsewhere.
All right. What do you think ultimately the Raiders get in a deal for him?
I think a first and maybe a future second and maybe a player, but I think they'll get a plethora of picks. I wouldn't take any players back unless they were super young. I want picks if I'm the Raiders, but I don't think it's 2 first-round picks.
Yeah, they've got 10 picks already, so, I mean, it'd be a big draft. I mean, I'm all for it. I'm with you. I would want the picks as well, unless it's a first- or second-year player. I think you've got the right approach to it. Tell me, March, supposedly the NBA is going to look at expansion. Does Vegas feel like they're a deadbolt lock to get it?
Deadbolt lock, I don't know about that, but probably, again, I'll use the word or the term 95%. I think they feel pretty good about it unless something crazy happens. We have been waiting for upwards of 5 years about this chatter, so I think it's in a pretty good position. And then the rumored ownership group could be the Fenway Group, headed up by John Henry, but the face of the group would be LeBron James, which would be very interesting. So, yeah, I think, the funny thing is I was just talking about yesterday on the show, we had a story where we got some quotes in Sports Illustrated way back in 2004, and we were talking about the future of Major League Sports coming to Las Vegas, and we were all but certain, it's going to be the NBA. This is a basketball town in Vegas. It's going to be the NBA. That's the first one on the ground, and as it turns out, we're going to get the NBA eventually, but it's actually going to be the 4th Major League team in Las Vegas, which is still incredible, Soren. You were out there, late 90s, early 2000s. The fact that we have any Major League sports after the way we were viewed to get 4 by 2030 or 2031 will be incredible.
Yeah. Where are we? Can you see the stadium coming up out of the ground for the A's yet?
Oh yeah. They've poured a lot of the concrete. They've got most of the main frame done. They're starting to build it out. Now, is it going to be done by, February of 2028, for the big flush when they try out the toilets? That's the key moment. I'm not exactly sure. There doesn't seem to be any delays. The A's are doing what they can in terms of good PR locally, sending out a bunch of positive messages. And I got to tell you, the A's have actually had, I think, a really good offseason because they do have a core of young stars, and they've tried to sign, and they have inked a bunch of them, and next up could be Nick Kurtz after just 1 year, and Shea Langoliers could be another guy. So the A's are doing the right thing, and it feels like everything is set to have the Las Vegas A's on the ground here in 2028. They also reversed course on this approach. They were not going to play any games in Vegas until they got into their stadium, and they're actually going to play a 6-game set in June at LV Ballpark, the AAA stadium with about 10,000 seats. So I think that's really good marketing, as well as they try to build a connection to Vegas.
Yeah, I think it'll be cool. I think they should be doing it all along. Why wouldn't you just come in? I get the idea we want to debut the stadium. We don't want to be playing in a minor league park. You're playing in a minor league park in Sacramento.
Yep.
You know, why not just get there and create a core fan base?
Yeah, here's what happened. The Raiders used that approach, and they said, hey, we're not going to go to Vegas and play games at, say, Seaboldt Stadium. But I get the approach by the Raiders. That's a substandard stadium, and it's the NFL. The NFL can do whatever it wants, and it wasn't successful playing a lot of football in Oakland and in the Bay Area, but I get why they stayed away. Baseball and the A's, it's not the NFL. The A's need to start currying favor locally and start building their fan base with more and more games on the ground in Vegas.
All right, Steve Cofield in Las Vegas, in San Diego, representing Las Vegas, Nevada. Cofield, we appreciate it, buddy. Have a great weekend.
You too, Soren.
All right, the La Feta Delicatessen, end of the hour answer. Lefty Grove has the highest win percentage for pitchers with 300 wins. His birthday was today. Who has the highest with 200?
David Cohn.
Nope.
Doc Gooden.
Nope. There are 3 higher than Lefty Grove.
Okay.
So, but then obviously with between 2 and 300, 2 and 299.
Mike Mussina.
Nope. He is a 630.
Max Scherzer.
Number 9 overall. Number 7 overall.
Justin Verlander.
13th.
Clayton Kershaw.
Number 1.
Nailed it. You want to know how I nailed it? Kyle gave me the delivery.
Oh.
He did the...
Nice. Oh, yes. 223 and 96, 699 win percentage.
Well, he
2.53 ERA.
played with a team that has had $1 billion payroll his entire career. It ought to be pretty good.
2.53 ERA. Wouldn't payroll, but
Oh, it had nothing to do with it.
he was part of the. It was mostly him. I'm pretty sure Clayton Kershaw would have been really good, regardless of who he played for. But
You think he'd have had the
I
number
think
one
so.
winning percentage if he'd played his entire career for the Royals?
no, but
Okay.
neither would Whitey Ford
Enough
if he
said.
hadn't played for the Yankees.
Enough said. I rest my case.
Almost. That's not that good. A
Well,
case.
obviously he's good. He won
Yeah.
200 games.
Yeah, what
he
I'm saying is-
pitched long enough to.
But anybody at the top of that list is going to be partially due to the teams they played
Yes.
for. Whitey Ford, so
Yes.
I don't see this as a reason to.
Fraudulent.
It's so fraudulent.
It's a fraudulent record.
Oh boy.
What are you going to do when Verlander wins his 300th later this year?
Well, that'd be a lot.
It'd be a hell of a year.
Be 34. I don't think it's going to happen this year.
34-0. You heard
I
it here.
suppose if he pitches,
Is that how
till
far
he's
he is?
50?
34 wins?
Yeah, 266. I suppose if he pitches till he's 50, he might have a shot.
Yeah, how old is he now? 42?
Justin Verlander. I think
He's going to get there. He is going to try.
Yeah.
I love it. He's going for it.
Just turned 43.
There you go. It's in the bag.
Yep.
Transition to the bullpen. Maybe get some of those bullpen wins. You know.
I like that. He enters every tie game.
Yeah.
300 wins nowadays to me is like, maybe not the greatest analogy. It's like the finish line at the Belmont. It's the longest of the 3 races, and horses turn that last turn, and they're like, oh, wow, that finish line's a long way off. You get to around 250, 260, you're like, 300, those last 30 are really tough. A lot of guys have fallen on their face in that spot.
When Justin Verlander wins his 300th, I'm going to dunk your head in the toilet.
Seems like an overreaction. But
I will collect my money.
It might be.
I will collect my money. And
what was the bet?
$100.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe by then I'll be able to save that up.
Am I going to get paid like $1 a month for 100 months? Is that how that's going to go down?
At some point, I'll have that kind of clearance.
Yeah, I look forward to that day. Greatest bet ever. Does the kid over there? Do you know what the bet is?
When was this made?
It was like the worst bet ever.
It's the greatest bet I've ever made in my life.
It's the worst bet I've ever made. Maybe the worst bet ever made in support of one of the best predictions I've ever made.
So the bet was it was right after Randy Johnson won his 300th.
2009.
2009.
And I wrote a column for our website that said that Randy Johnson will be the last 300-game winner ever.
I was like,
just as Walter Johnson was the last 400-game winner ever.
I was like, no, that's not true. There'll be another 300-game winner. He said, no, there won't. I said, I'll bet you. I'll bet. I said, and Curtis goes, how much? I said, any amount you want. Literally any amount you want. Whatever you want. And he goes, fine, $100. I go, let's make it 1,000. Let's make it 10,000. Let's make it whatever you want. He goes, no, $100. Fine. I said, fine. We shook on it. And he's like, you're not going to win. I said, neither are you.
Unless they quit
playing baseball, then you'll never win because there's always a possibility that someone will do it. So it's a bet that I can never lose.
Yeah.
But it's like Kurtis said, it is one of the best predictions he's ever made.
17 years
Yeah, he was
later,
like the first
no
guy.
one's
Like as
come
soon as Randy
close.
Johnson, he's like, that's it. That's the last guy. You know, this is the closest anyone's gotten, I think, since then, isn't it?
I think somebody got to 270.
I was tracking. Greinke was my guy there for a while. I thought Greinke might get there. But I've been on Verlander since about like 190. Felix Hernandez at one point, I was like, oh, he's so young. And then he blew up.
Yep.
Right?
So the bet's going to stay through the lockout when it comes?
Yeah, that's going to be annoying. Because the clock is ticking on Verlander.
Yes, it is.
Let's see, who's...
Although, you know, as attractive as Kate Upton is, she's got to be a pain in the ass. She has got to be high maintenance. And that's got to make him want to get on those planes and keep flying and try to get to 300. That's my theory.
That is.
Or
that
wouldn't
is
you
the
already,
most.
if you were married to Kate Upton, wouldn't you already call it quits?
Yeah.
Unless she's a pain in the ass. I don't know her. Maybe the nicest human being on earth. This is just a theory that I have.
Let's see. Since then, the three bet. Yeah, Verlander's 266 is the most.
Is the closest?
Pettit 256, CC 251. Those are the
Yeah, I
only
thought
other
CC.
three.
I'm like, oh, come on, fatty.
Let's see. When did Jamie Moyer retire?
Like there for a while, we had a lot of
Moyer actually had more. I forgot he hung around till 2012. He has 269.
So that's the closest.
Yeah,
So
no one's hit 270 in the 17 years since.
I thought CC was going to do it because fat guys pitch forever. Gaylord Perry,
lefties,
and,
fat lefties, particular. Yeah, I just looked at. I had
Bartolo Colon got to 240, but he was like 340 pounds and 46. So I'm like, I don't think this one's going to make it.
I think I looked at the previous 8 or 10 300-game winners and saw where they were, how old they were when they hit 250, and how old they were when they hit 200. I'm like, ain't nobody hitting those numbers right now. And with the change in baseball, I just went, I'm just going to say it.
Where is
No one
Verlander
ever.
now this year?
266.
Back in Detroit.
Oh, where
Back
is
in
he?
Detroit.
Yeah.
Okay.
He
Good team.
Just turned 43.
Good team.
Yep.
So we'll clank out 27 and then just need, we'll do it in what? May of 27?
Could be.
Good times.
So you got the Tigers winning the Central then?
No, just winning every day he goes out there.
If he averages,
I did pick the Royals second, so yes, I have the Tigers winning the Central. But
if he averages 11 wins a year for the next 3 years, he's still one short.
But he's not going to average 11.
And he's going to average 3. You're right. He's
For
not
11
going to average 11
for 11 years.
For 2 years.
It's going to be great. You're going to lament that you made that stupid bet.
It is one of the weirdest things. So horrible, great prediction, horrible bet, which is me in a nutshell. Even the greatest thing I've ever done is like shrouded in failure. It's just so K-Dog. That's so Kurtis.
Yeah,
That's
it
so
is.
Raven.
It is. Well said. Well put. 913-3810810. Chuck, you're in the program. Chuck, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, Soren. Hey, thanks for taking my call, man. I've been listening to you for years. This is the first time I ever called in.
Well, thank you. Thanks for being a part of the program. What's on your mind today?
Well, okay, so I'm not a NFL general manager for a reason, but with all this Kenneth Walker talk that we might be able to acquire him through free agency, I want to know what your opinion would be, because I haven't heard anybody talk about this. What if we go get him, pay him $12 million a year, and then take the 9th pick and draft Jeremiah Love? Then you'd have the best running back room in the league behind the best quarterback in the history of the NFL. I mean,
I listen. If you already had one of them on the roster, even then, it's limited resources. Like they had cap problems, and they still need 2 defensive tackles, at least 1 edge. They need at least 1 corner. They need a safety. They need at least 1 wide receiver. They're going to need a tight end if they don't already need a tight end right now. They need a tackle next year. I mean, there's a lot of things that they need to be tying up that much of your cap space in one position.
You don't like Noah right now behind Travis?
No, and he's only signed for 1 more year as well. And in fact, I think if Travis Kelce comes back, they may cut Noah Gray.
And as far as running backs are concerned, what it would cost you in either draft capital or free agent money capital, I don't think you're spending it on either one of those guys to have fewer than half the carries, which is what you'd be doing if you had them both.
We have all this extra. I'm not an expert by any means, but we've gotten rid of all these players. McDuffie, for example, we have so much extra free money.
No. They don't have so much.
That was
extra
done to
free
get
money.
out of Hawk.
They need $12.5 million of the space that you're talking about just to have for their draft. That's how much that's going to go towards the draft. So you can put $12.5 million onto the number that they're at right now. And I think off the top of my head, they cleared $33 million between Juwan Taylor and him, so that would put them about $20 million under. 12.5 of that going to the draft. I think they're going to end up shifting some money around on some other contracts. I mean, they are not swimming in cash.
So are you telling me that it wouldn't make sense to get Walker and Love because of money reasons, or?
I yes, and it's you're paying money for something that's not going to get on the field.
Yeah. If you put the money into Walker, you wouldn't want to use a valuable draft pick on some guy who's
going to watch
who's going to watch him or play while the other guy watches. You want to use that to get cheap.
That's where I'm kind of at on that is, we want Andy Reid to run the ball more. We did with Kareem Hunt, and then we get two of the best backs in the league together. Then let's start running the ball, and we can have guys that are probably going to get three contracts in their career at least.
What running back are you seeing getting 3 contracts? I don't even want to give a running back a second contract.
Yeah.
The only reason I would take Jeremiah Love is because we are probably headed into there's a distinct possibility that the next 5 years are the last 5 good years of Patrick Mahomes' career, and so you say, okay, let's give him the weapon we need. But no, and I really don't want any part. Like I said, Walker's always on the injury report. The Seattle Seahawks have him, won a championship with him, and they're not going to pay him. Why should anybody value him more than the Seattle Seahawks do?
Well, why do the Rams value Trent McDuffie more than us?
Because they have $40 million in cap space, and the Chiefs were when that trade was being put together were over the cap
and short on draft picks,
and only had 6 picks. And the Rams have hoarded picks for years. They have plenty of draft picks always. I think they had, 11 before the trade or something like that? Chuck, thanks for the call. Question asked, question answered.
He was going to keep working until you went to his side, I think.
I get where he's coming from. It's like, hey,
it'd be great to have
this has been a problem. Let's solve it. And let's make sure that we've got a backup to it. And I in an ideal world, sure, let's have 2 great running backs.
Yeah.
And is running back by committee a reality these days? Yes. But no one has a first-round pick and a top of the salary structure back. Saquon Barkley is not backed up by a first-round pick. Now, listen, I will give you this.
A top 10 pick at that.
Well, the Seattle Seahawks did have a second-round pick backed up by a second-round pick.
Yeah.
Charbonnet was a second-round pick after they had invested a second-round pick in Kenneth Walker.
But that's not a $13 million a year.
It's not number 9.
Yeah.
And, the biggest contract that a running back's going to get in free agency in any given year.
Neither one of those two can be acquired to get fewer than half the snaps. And at least one of those guys would get less than half the snaps. Even if they ran it 40 times a game, one of those guys is going to be getting less than half the snaps, and you don't want to pay that kind of money or that kind of draft capital for that guy.
913-810-810, the phone number. Let's talk to Jerry. You're in the program, Jerry. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, just enjoying the day best I can. My question has to deal with Isaiah Pacheco. I thought I heard somewhere that either he said it or someone else said that he would take on any role to be able to play for the Chiefs. And I don't know what their thoughts are if he's already being traded off. I haven't heard anything about him being traded. And I hope the Chiefs do really well with whoever they decide to pick. I'm waiting with bated breath for the draft. Thank you.
All right, I appreciate it, Jerry. I think Isaiah Pacheco could be back if it's a. I would be surprised. I don't know that the Chiefs would offer him more than a veteran minimum $1.5 million, and I think somebody would give him more than that. I mean, he was the starting running back for a Super Bowl team, but I don't know. I don't think he'll be back. I think somebody will give him more than the Chiefs will be willing to give him. 913-3810810, you're in the program.
The program with Soren Petro.
What a dumbass.
Weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
All right, listen up. If you are a fish eater on Fridays, like we are in my house, Hen House has an incredible seafood selection. How about right now? You can get the whole Atlantic salmon fillets, $10.99 a pound. That's at Hen House. They've got a great section of seafood, a great selection of seafood back at the meat counter, whether it's shrimp, the Seabest cooked shrimp, 16 to 20 count, 16 ounces, just $9.99. How about the fresh tilapia fillets? $8.99. All kinds of great seafood options. The lobster, the shrimp, different kinds of fish fillets. It's absolutely wonderful, and you can get it right now at your neighborhood Hen House. Go to henhouse.com. You can see all these specials and more right now at henhouse.com. Just click on the weekly ad, and you can see all the great specials. You can also stock up on like the boneless, skinless chicken breast, just $2.99 a pound. You're saving $1.30 per pound right now at Hen House. Like I said, always specials. You can find them all right there at henhouse.com. And there's also great specials in the middle of the store as well. So make sure you check that ad when you go in. Make sure you got your Hen House card, and you're going to save a ton of money and get the freshest, best-tasting chicken, the freshest, best-tasting beef, the freshest, best-tasting seafood. It's all right there at the meat counter at your neighborhood Hen House. They've been serving me and my family my entire life. They've been serving Kansas City for over 100 years, and now teammate owned as well. Hen House Market, fresh quality, friendly service, and savings you'll love all month long at Hen House.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jeff's day is off to a slow start, so he heads to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination, where Sammy, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge, and Sammy does that for free too. In no time at all, Jeff is back on the road, ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
DQ presents the Spicy Menu. For a limited time, try the new Flamethrower Chicken Strip Basket for $6.99 with spicy, bold strips that heat you up. Served with a side of famous DQ soft serve as a dip to cool you down. That's right, dip those spicy chicken strips right into soft serve, plus fries and toast, all for just $6.99. And add a new pineapple lemonade sparkler or cooler made with tahini. It's the limited time only Spicy Menu. Get it delivered in the DQ app. Happy, tastes good. Participation may vary.
Bickmer Electric will get you up to code for your voltage load. Bickmer Electric, we're gonna wire it right and hook you up tonight. Bickmer Electric.
All right, we got a little behind, but I'm glad we were able to take a couple of calls. Coming up next hour, we'll give you the things you need to know, as well as talking to Ari Temkin. Big 12 basketball tournament going on. The ladies tournament going on right now.
Program product?
Ari Temkin is, yes, former intern here at the Sports Radio 810 WHB. And the Cats, the Lady Cats. If you're a Wildcat, you don't. Did you hear this discussion?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be the Lady Vols.
Yes. Just the Cats.
Just the Wildcats. Okay.
I don't know any teams that still do that.
There are a number of them.
Louisiana Tech used to do it a lot. They were the Lady Techsters, Lady Vols.
How about Oklahoma State?
They do it still. Lady Sooners.
Lady Cowboys.
No need for it.
You can be a cowboy as a lady?
Nah.
Boy is in the name.
Well, you can't be a lady cowboy, can you?
Well, you could be
just putting lady in front of it.
Cowgirls.
It could, but lady cowboys doesn't. Putting lady in front of cowboys does not solve that problem, if it's a problem.
No wonder you don't have a date.
There are so many more reasons than that. All right, who was K-State's leading scorer the last time they won at Kansas? Brought to you by La Feta Delicatessen.
Fourth quarter of the program begins right now as we finish strong here on a Friday. Hour number 20 of the week, and still barreling down the road. Ari Timken's going to be with us. We'll talk Big 12 basketball, wrapping up the regular season this weekend, and then the men's tournament coming to Kansas City next weekend. The ladies tournament going on right now, and the court is a TV screen.
Mm-hmm. I dig it.
You do?
It's all right. I like this. I like the look they had today better than the one they had yesterday. So I'm hoping this is what we'll see more of. They may just be using this tournament to let's kind of work some things out here for, when they think that when the big show next week will work some of the kinks out.
Now, I heard that they're not going to be able to serve drinks to the first row of people there.
Is that right?
Seems like Seems like an issue.
That would, if I paid for the front row and I couldn't get
can't have a brew,
a Corona or two, I'm going to be upset.
I would say.
Not good. That's not good. Is that right?
Good.
Like, so it can't handle spills? Really? You can dribble a basketball. A 300-pound guy can land from dunking, but you can't handle a little spillage? What happens if a guy sweats on the court?
Yeah. I don't get that.
Kyle, I'm talking to you.
I mean, they have water bottles on the bench.
I'm finding
the spills.
Wow. Would seem like a problem.
Would seem like one. Oh, the court just goes.
It's shorted out, and now there's no lines.
No, it's just like one corner of it, like one corner of the court. There's just nothing there.
That is kind of the risk, isn't it?
I would think, yeah.
All of a sudden, you know.
Oh boy,
we got no 3-point line here.
There's just no one can go over into that. The new out of bounds is whatever is lit up. It can only be there.
Is it time to send senior night the way of the Pro Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You still want to honor some people who have been there the whole time. Shouldn't.
Do you know how many?
But
did you hear you might have been off. The stat Lebo had 16 senior nights in the SEC. How many of them had a guy who? How many of all the seniors for 16 different schools on their senior night in the SEC? How many of them only played for that school?
One.
Yes, one.
Wow.
One.
Who was it?
I had some guy at Mississippi State.
Okay.
Because he couldn't figure out how to get out of Starkville. He was the only guy. Bill Self was asked how he's got 6 of them, by the way.
Yeah, and some of them you may not have heard of.
Well, that's always the case. There's always the walk-on guys.
There's Wilder Evers, Jaden Dawson, Trey White, Melvin Council Jr., Justin Cross, and Yunyu Ngala. I think maybe it's Winyu Ngala.
Okay. There's 6 of them. Bill Self was asked how he would do the starters with 6 seniors.
I think with Roy, 1 year, he put 6 out there to start, knowing he was going to get a technical, and he got a technical, which is fine if you got Pierce and Vaughn and LaFrance and Pollard and all those cats out there too. I think that's fine. But the thing about it is we'll not start the game out that way. We'll start 5. But I do want those guys to actually get an opportunity to be out there early in the game. But the most important thing is. We got to play well. We got to get back to playing well in BK State. So I'm all for senior day and having it be a fun day for the guys and their families. I'm a lot more so for us playing well. And them playing and starting hopefully adds to us playing well because the energy level will be really, really good.
I could see that being the case. It is interesting though. You get 6. I know I do PA for a couple of high school teams, and one of them is St. Michael the Archangel at Lee Summit. And this year they had 6 seniors. And this is just kind of a nice story about someone doing something good. The head coach, R.J. Newton, came to me and said, hey, we got 6 guys. One of them, and I'll give him credit, his name's Jackson Monty. He came to me and said, Coach, I'll sit. I don't need to. And so because he did that, he pulled me aside. He goes, we're going to announce 6. Because that's just a way to thank him for doing what he did, if anybody. I said, cool. So we didn't tell him. And he was like, you got to still sit in the bench. He's like, why am I here? So we announced the first 5, and then we announced him last. So you can do that at high school level. I don't know if that's a situation at Kansas where you can announce 6 so they get to go out there and say, hey, 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 and then you go sit in the bench, or if that's a technical foul. I know having 6 guys on the court would be. I'm not sure.
Just like the and a 6'4" senior
from so-and-so from so-and-so.
How could that be technical?
I wouldn't think it would be. So, but that's something they could do. I mean, they didn't start with 6 that night. One of them sat, but
you've seen some contentious refs in your PA days.
I have not many. Some of them are just lazy, but there are some guys who are confrontationalists.
Okay. Bill Self was talking about recourse. You know, what can you do if you don't like the call? Self was asked if there's any kind of recourse for unfair officiating.
When you do those things, I think it's kind of a whiny bitch boy type attitude. To be honest with you, there was a lot of conversations without me being involved by people today, from the higher ups. And if I got an issue, I'll handle it. So I'll deal with John Higgins in a way that I've known John he's called my games for 35 years or whatever. So I don't need anybody else to do that for me.
What?
I had to play the first part of that cut like 5 times. I just hearing that in that delivery, it's just beautiful because it was so unexpected.
Bitch boy.
Well, that'll be a drop forever now, won't it?
God, so good. Love it.
You got it ready? Get it. Have you pulled it already, or did you just cue it?
I was saving it to my drops folder there.
Okay, you got it now? Because then I expect a liner that says something like, the program with Kurtis Seaboldt.
Bitch boy.
There you go.
Yes, so good.
That's what I'm seeing in the future.
Like I couldn't be a big enough fan of that guy.
You raised your voices?
You raised your
bitch
voice.
boy.
Oh, that's fantastic.
There it is. I like that. Strong.
The reaction of the people. Oh,
Trying to a guy who is a sports director and beat writer for, I'm trying to see, for Utah Athletics, says one major design flaw so far is there's no half-court line during the game except for the logo, which is tough to see. Then he adds, also courtside seats now can't serve drinks because it's a digital court.
So backing up what
Kyle said.
Yeah. Oh, boy. I say working out the kinks. Maybe if they can put anything they want on there, they might want to find a way to make sure the half-court line is obvious. That might be vaguely important.
It says here then later on he says they finally allowed for drinks courtside, but it took some convincing of the powers that be. That's what it says in a back and forth.
Huh.
So. All right.
Interesting.
It will be interesting. How about Dennis Gates? He's got a big one with Arkansas. Gates said his team needs to be better on defense than they were in Norman.
we just didn't force enough missed shots, man. It just seemed like we were stuck in mud, or at least they, with their shooting ability, displayed such. And sometimes you have to count on the opponents missing some shots, but you got to think about the emotional win that we had here, and that caused them an emotional loss. So coming back off of that, and they were one of the top 5 offenses in the last 5 games in the country. So it's not like they just did this against us. This was a team that won at Vanderbilt, and a team that has been in every close game that they've had.
And they got a 30-year-old guard. Not quite, but he will be 25 in 2 months.
How about the double bye? Dennis Gates was asked how big it would be to get it.
Year one, we were able to do it with an 11-7 record. Obviously, we wanted to just win out, and it would have been such a easier decision and impact for us. But we let a game go, and we have to take care of home court against a tough Arkansas team. But importantly, it's important to get that double bye. But we can still finish from anywhere from 4th to 10th, just with the tiebreakers and everything else, and that's quite scary.
4th, it could be 10th.
Yeah.
You could get 2 games off, or you might be playing opening night.
Right. It's big. I would say that's big.
And almost all that movement hinges upon Missouri, not the other teams. Missouri wins. They're there.
They get the double bye.
They avoid playing that first day. They're at no worse the 5 seed. But if they lose, they could fall as far as 10.
Yeah, and have to play have a 5-game trip.
Right.
Which no one's done a 5er yet, right?
I don't think so.
The guys have done 4. Remember, Connecticut did it the year they won the championship, winning the Big East, but no one's done 5. Darius Acuff is listed as doubtful, right?
They're now saying he will not play.
He will not play. Gates said the task against Arkansas will be tall.
Arkansas is one of the most talented teams in the country, pound for pound, with their rotation, and obviously potential player of the year and freshman of the year, Darius Acuff leading them. So again, we'll need our fans, we'll need a hostile environment, and we'll have to play well. There's no doubt about it, but we have to go out and give our very best and not have those self-inflictions. It's a tough place to play at Mizzou Arena, and I'm excited to be able to have our last game be a gold rush, be a sellout, and obviously have our wonderful crowd there.
When he made those comments, obviously the news about Acuff had not come down, but John Calipari just wants him to rest. He's had a nagging ankle injury, wants him to be ready for the SEC tournament, so he will not play.
The line has moved 1 point in Missouri's direction with that news. They're now a 1.5.
And we've talked about that. Part of that is the not creating a middle for people to try to win both ways on. They're not going to swing it. He's worth more than that. They're just not going to move it that far.
That would make you think, well, get on Mizzou then. I mean, if they're only moving the thing 1 point because they don't want to create a middle. If you like Mizzou a lot, there'd be no reason for you not to take Missouri, right?
I like Missouri.
Yeah,
I would take Mizzou in this game. North Carolina freshman standout Caleb Wilson will miss the remainder of the season after breaking his right thumb during practice yesterday while dunking.
Oh boy.
He has already had surgery and is expected to be cleared during the NBA draft process.
I mean, he could have blown out his patellar tendon while dunking in a warm-up lane like Danny did.
Danny was neither dunking nor was he in a warm-up line.
I thought it was warm-up. You were warming up.
We were warming up, but he was just trying. He tried to put a move on me.
Oh.
So when we had our turkey ball game, little pseudo-celebrity basketball game.
I remember it was at Shawnee Mission West. I remember where it was, too.
That's where the game was.
Yeah.
Where he went down was at the now gone gym right over here. The fitness center had a basketball court, and Danny went down.
I thought he blew his knee out in line warming up for the turkey ball.
Nope.
Okay.
We went to practice to just get our game on since we were going to be playing in it, and Danny tried to put a move on me. blew out his knee. That's how sticky my defense is.
Yeah. Did you slap the floor?
No, I looked at him laying there, and he turned around and goes, "Did you kick me?" I go, "No, but don't look at your knee."
Yeah, you don't want to see that.
Because he blew his patella tendon and dislocated the kneecap. His kneecap was over on the side. I go, "Yeah, that's not good. I'm going to go call an ambulance." He goes, No, I'll be fine. I'm like, "You're not going to be fine, Danny." I think he even said something to the effect that, no, this is not going to stop my running streak. He'd run like every day for like 100 years. He did. Needless to say, it did.
It did stop.
It did stop the running streak. So, yes. Be careful out there, kids. Don't be like Danny. You see me coming, just forfeit. Just get out of the way.
You're not going to get around him.
3 Royals played a part in Venezuela's win in its first WBC game against the Netherlands. Michael Garcia and Salvador Perez both went 1 for 4. Garcia scored a run. Luinder Avila came in as a reliever, went 2 innings, allowing 1 hit, 1 run with 3 walks and 2 strikeouts. Too many base runners.
A few too many, yes.
Seth Lugo starts for Puerto Rico tonight as they take on Colombia. That's at 5 p.m. on FS1. If you want to watch it, Fox Sports 1. USA versus Brazil at 7 on Fox. Webb versus Takahashi. Does not sound Brazilian. Takahashi.
True story.
USA minus 5,000.
Seems
that
high.
Can't be right. That's not right. No baseball game has ever been, unless it was like the Dodgers against, the 3-2 5th grade team. Or is that maybe to win it all? That can't be right either. You got to look at that. That one's off. The split is amazing. The kid did a great job on the sheet, but not on these odds.
At least not on that one.
Well,
Are there others?
The others look right. Arkansas at Mizzou. Mizzou minus 1.5. That's 11 o'clock in the morning on ESPN. Arkansas minus 115. Mizzou minus 105. That looks right. K-State at KU 16.5. The Jayhawks are favored. 1 o'clock on CBS. Minus 1,700. KU on the money line. Plus 890 for K-State. Sporting Kansas City also in action tomorrow. They are home to San Diego, 7:30, Apple TV. It's kind of a big game for Sporting. They're 0-1-1. If they get a win, they're 1-1-1, and you're like, okay, they got something going. But got a draw last time out, so kind of an interesting game, I think.
Very much.
You still looking for those odds?
Yeah, and I had it, and I clicked back over to something, and then it moved it, so I'll find it here.
We mentioned this. The Raiders are set to release Geno Smith, barring some kind of trade. I don't know who would trade for him. Smith signed a 2-year, $75 million extension after being traded from the Seahawks for a third-round pick, hearing $40 million in 25, all of which was fully guaranteed. I think in total they're going to end up paying him $58 million. Is that right?
Yeah.
And they gave up a third-round pick.
Yeah.
For him to stink.
To lead the NFL in interceptions.
I'm seeing minus 4,500 and plus 1,600 on that.
So the kid's right.
Yeah. That may have moved a little bit.
He's got a different number, but minus 5,000?
Minus 4,500.
Brazil must be atrocious.
The run is minus 9.5.
Based on who's starting for him, it seems like they kidnapped somebody. Am I the only one that doesn't think Takahashi sounds Brazilian?
It isn't, but people are born in.
Well, they have relatives.
You're born where you're born. It could be.
Seth Lugo was not born in Puerto Rico.
But their family could be from there, I guess.
Yeah,
I guess
he got a family member.
Yeah, his mom may have been.
There you go. So back off.
Whoa, settle down, Beavis.
The Bills are releasing Nickelback Taron Johnson. We talked about that with Sal Capaccio and wide receiver Curtis Samuel as they're trying to get under the cap right now. The Texans have granted running back Joe Mixon's request for a release. He missed the entire 25 season with a foot injury. The release saves Houston $8 million in cap space. We will take a break. We'll come back, talk about this floor you can't have drinks on. Can you or can't you? You tell R.A. Tempkin to have the answer. From the Big 12 Network, Big 12 Channel, Big 12 Radio, Big 12 on YouTube, all kinds of Big 12 stuff he does. R.A. Tempkin joins us next.
The program with Soren Petro.
Travis? Hey, how are you? All right. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
You know, one of my favorite companies is All Weather Decks. You want to know why? Because they built a great outdoor living space for us. That's what you can have. All Weather Decks builds great outdoor living spaces. That's why they have an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. That's why 24 times they've won the Angie Super Service Award. The weather is getting warmer. This weekend, finally, we will spring forward. We will have sunshine in the evenings. You want to get out on a deck, a patio, and a screened-in porch? Of course you do. You know, building a great outdoor living space increases the usable square footage of your home. It increases the value of your home as well. So whether it's your forever home, like for me, trust me, I'm going out feet first from this one, it's great to have that great outdoor living space. But if you're thinking, well, you know what, I might be selling this house, I don't know that I want to put the money into it. It's what makes homes fly off the market. Everybody wants it. So invest in it. You'll get it. You'll get your money back when you sell. Call 913-206-1974 or go to allweatherdecks.net. There you can see photos of finished projects. Great place to get some ideas about what you might want. See the great quality of work that they do. You can see all the awards they've won. They got a map link where you can see where they've done jobs all over the metro. They've probably done several in your neighborhood. Check it out at allweatherdecks.net. You can even get an estimate going. If you call right now at 913-206-1974, tell them you heard about it right here on Sports Radio 810. All right? You can go right now and get started. They're only 6 or 7 weeks away from starting your project. Basically, once you talk to them, once you're ready with your design, they pull the permits, and then they're going. They're working. They show up, they begin, and they don't do this, like tear things up and then leave for 2 weeks, then come back for a day and then leave for a week. No, they bring the full crew, and they're ready to get it done. Starting it sooner, finishing it faster, most importantly, building it better. That's what All Weather Decks does. They've been doing it for more than 15 years right here in Kansas City. That's right, locally owned and operated, All Weather Decks. Check them out online at allweatherdecks.net and relax.
Robert Brogdon's Olathe Buick GMC has been Kansas City's choice for over 30 years. With the selection you want and the savings you need. Get incredible offers on new vehicles like up to $14,000 off the new GMC Sierra trucks or up to $7,500 off new Buick SUVs. They've also got APR financing as low as 0% and no payments for 120 days available. Choose from over 300 vehicles in stock. Visit I-35 in Santa Fe or robertbrogdon.com. Offers may not be combined. Length of term varies for special APR. Must qualify and finance through GMF.
All right, your Friday nights just got a little louder because NBA Happy Hour is live on FanDuel every Friday from 6 to 7:30.
You're in the program here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Thanks for joining us. Petro, Seaboldt, Collier with you here on the sun's trying to come back out. We had like
Trying
5
to.
minutes when Danny first got in here, and then Danny threw a wet blanket over that too.
True story.
Clouds came right back. We were headed towards a good day, but
By the way, just looking at something here. Bo Takahashi,
yeah,
born September 25th, 2000, or it's January 23rd, 1997, Sao Paulo, Brazil.
really just doesn't sound Brazilian to me.
He doesn't. When I said he could have been born there,
Yeah, that's true.
I was like, wait a minute.
There are people who
And I
have.
thought he didn't have to be, but he could have been.
Yeah, okay.
So
Good to know. Are you done?
no,
All right.
that's I'm good now. I suffered a rather public beating. I thought I could at least
Yeah,
say, by the way,
I'm proud of you.
just gonna say this.
Yeah, I'm proud of you. Let's talk some basketball as Ari Temkin from Big 12 Radio, Big 12 Network joins us here in the program, talking some hoops, brought to you by our friends at Roberts Robinson. Chevy GMC, if you want top dollar on your trade with a place with a great reputation, great reviews, and people actually care, get to Roberts Robinson Chevy GMC. The best in the business. You can check the reviews. Customers rave about their trade-in values, plus bonus cash on eligible vehicles. They go above and beyond. You're always treated like a member of the family. My Car is only the best, whether it's Robbie in service, Tim in sales, Jordan in finance. You're always going to have a great experience and get top dollar for your trade at Roberts Robinson. Find them online at robertsrobinson.com. Ari, how are you, my friend?
I'm great, Petro. How are you, buddy?
Good. So what's this? Can we or can't we have a drink in the front row with this fancy court? Not that we have the juice to get front row seats anyway, but we saw something where someone said they're not selling drinks to anybody because of this court. Is that true?
When I get to Kansas City next week, it's going to be my first question to Brett Yormark.
Okay.
Because, I mean, look, if I'm sitting courtside, front row, I need to have a drink. I mean, really, if I'm sitting anywhere in the building, I'm probably going to need a drink. But
you are a
certainly
lush.
front row. But yeah, I mean, I found it's funny to see all of the reactions about the court, and that was probably, of all of them, my favorite one, because I didn't even think through like the water, food, electronics thing, but I can't imagine there's not a workaround for that. I don't know if it was just somebody that was upset or what, but I feel like that's got to be false.
I feel like it has to be too, doesn't it? I mean, like you bring this, like you can dunk and land with the force that you would land on a dunk on it, but you can't spill a little something on it.
Right. Yeah, we saw like basically I guess 55 elephants. It can support the weight of 55 elephants. We were playing this game on our show this morning of how much weight it could hold. So there were, I mean, and because we don't have the metric system here, and yet it was like kept going back to the metric system in terms of the measurements, we had to use it in like elephants. So how many elephants can march across it, but I can't have a drink on it? That makes no sense.
55 elephants, huh?
Yeah, 55 elephants.
And how could they not have thought, people do like to drink at games? How is that not one of the first things they tested it for?
Well, and
ability to absorb water.
Well, we have to find out and make sure that this is true.
Yeah, if that's the case.
Right, and especially, I mean, if you're sitting, I mean, you paid for premium seats. The expectation is there's a premium hospitality aspect to those premium seats. So it's like double, where it's like no one's going to pay for those seats if they can't have. I mean, and what is it? But you can't have booze, but you can have like water and soda. But it feels like soda makes less sense. It's literally. I wasn't joking. It's literally going to be my first question because it was my first thought too.
By the way, Brett Yormark is one of the guys going for this conference on college athletics with the president. Isn't that right, Kurtis? Isn't that one of the names?
Yep, he's one of the 37 sports people that are
the 37 sports people. Who all?
Chancellor Girard. It's
But who? There's like members of the cabinet.
Yeah, there's five members of the cabinet, 8 elected officials, senators and congressmen, and then 37 sports people, mostly athletic directors, presidents, some people like that. Girard from Kansas is going to be there.
My favorite tweet about
Iowa
this.
State AD will be there.
My favorite tweet about this was 50 people in a 60-minute meeting. I'm sure it's all going to get solved.
Yeah, it's Pat 40.
Pat 40, yeah. Pat 40 put that out.
Yeah.
We should have everything solved in an hour.
Yes. What better way to solve the problems?
Like,
I mean, guys, the funniest part about this whole thing is the solution is right in front of them. It's so obvious, and yet nobody wants to explore it, and that's collective bargaining. You know, you in order to, because the NCAA has been ruled an antitrust, so conferences cannot, come together and form rules because that's basically in violation of the monopoly. Then the only way to get around it is what pro sports does, is to have a collective bargaining agreement between the players and the owners. And that's not easy. I'm not trying to sit here and say that it's easy, but it is the most workable option. I mean, it's been 5 years now, and there's not been a bill that's gotten past committee. 5 years. They haven't even had any of the bills that have been tried to go through any House or Senate vote. It hasn't even reached the floor of any of those two the House or the Senate has not even reached the floor to vote on it, on any of them. It hasn't even gotten out of committee because they're always bipartisan bills. They're not going to be, the Republican politicians want certain things and Democrat politicians want other things, and so there's no bipartisan effort to get this thing done. So anybody that's waiting for national legislation is going to be waiting for a long time. And meanwhile, locally, all these laws are being passed. I mean, there's states that have no state income taxes, and then other states, primarily in the SEC's footprint, Mississippi, Louisiana, have passed laws that basically are not applying state income taxes to athletes. And so they're just being lobbied by the schools and passing laws that benefit the schools. And meanwhile, everybody's sitting on their hands and waiting for Congress or the House of Representatives or somebody to do something. And so Trump is trying to do something, but again, they're powerless. And the answer is right there. They have to collectively bargain. That's how they do it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, sir.
No. Go ahead. Finish. I'm enjoying it.
And I mean, honestly, collective bargaining would not be a benefit to the players. The players have a great situation right now. They're constantly free agents. They don't have to stand by any of the contracts they signed, right? They can sign a contract that says they're there for 2 years and leave after 1 year, and then if they get sued, either they're not getting sued. And now some of those guys are finally getting sued by the universities, but who knows what court will actually hold those contracts because the specifics within those have not been collectively bargained. It's a mess. And so the only way to do it is to collectively bargain. And it's going to take, I don't know, the next 5 years for them to figure out that the only solution here is collective bargaining.
Well, and if you're doing those lawsuits, you're going to spend a bunch of money on lawyers to do the lawsuit, and then what you're going to get back is like $25,000, right? Like I think the idea behind the lawsuits is to sting somebody, and then hopefully that'll be the deterrent from anybody else breaking, quote unquote, breaking the contract, right? That I assume that's the idea, that the handful of schools that have filed lawsuits, like Georgia suing the kid, who Georgia sued from Mizzou?
The edge rusher.
Yeah, whoever it was. Anyway, I don't.
Cincinnati's suing Brendan Sorsby, who signed a 2-year deal and left after 1 year.
Yeah. I mean, like that's but I would think
Damon Wilson.
Yeah, I would think that that 2-year deal. Well, okay, just stop paying me. Like if you're not performing the services in Cincinnati, then you don't get any more payments unless it was like, well, we paid you $500,000 up front, one lump sum. And part of that $500,000 was for the second year, so therefore you owe us $250,000.
And Georgia's suing him for $390,000.
Yeah, because they gave him some, which I don't even really understand, because it's like
said he violated a 14-month, $500,000 agreement by entering the portal in January 2025 after receiving $30,000. So
but he got 30, and they're suing him, but they didn't pay him that. So I don't know. I don't even understand what the lawsuit is.
It is weird.
What the ground is.
Well, in the case of Cincinnati, they're basically saying you signed a 2-year deal, and we were going to see the benefits of the 2-year deal in the second year, but we paid you $1 million that we want back. And basically his agents are saying, you paid him for 1 year of playing, which he did, and now he's gone, and he's not paying the money back because he played the year. So, I mean, basically Cincinnati is saying, we want all of the money back from the year that you played. And, and his representatives are saying, we're not paying that, and we're not going to be expected to pay that. And who knows how the court will go. I mean, there's a kid from Wisconsin who went to Miami, and that was playing out in courts where they were trying to get him to not play, and meanwhile he played in the national championship game and is, I think, now on his way to the NFL. So it's like these things aren't going to get settled until way after the fact, even if they do settle. And then there's the whole court of public opinion thing, right? Like, does it look good on universities to sue players? And I mean, I'd argue, I don't care, because if they're not holding up if they're signing contracts and not holding up their end of the bargain, then, you should take them to court. But I mean, and this is just the tip of the iceberg, guys. I mean, this is just one aspect of it. We haven't even touched on, the tampering, which is so. Calling it tampering is, it's not even right, because it's everywhere, and it's
tampering makes it sound like you're keeping it a secret.
Right.
They're just flat out calling guys and be like, "Hey, if you get in the portal, we got this for you."
Yeah, I mean, these guys sign immediately when they get into the portal. They know exactly where they're going. The majority of these guys. It's funny. We were talking about senior night on our show today, and so Isaac Trotter from CBS said that there are 22 quote unquote true seniors in the Power Five this year that are having a senior night. And looking back historically, there were probably, I think it was like 700 before the sort of modern era of the NCAA. It was 2021. So in like the 3 years leading up, the average players in basketball that would enter the portal on a yearly basis was about 700. In 2025, there was close to 3,000 players that jumped in the portal. So it's basically been a 142% increase in transfer portal entrants since pre-2021. And crazy enough, even going to 2023, there's been a 35% increase in portal entries since 2023. And remember, in 2023, there was a 60-day transfer portal window. In 2025, that was cut in half to 30 days. And there was still 35% more transfers in the portal then. I mean, and obviously as a Kansas fan and alum, like senior night used to be a huge deal. And now, like Melvin Council will go through a senior night, and that's great, but he spent 12 months in Lawrence.
Trey White is going to go through a senior night, and he's playing for his fourth school in 4 years.
Fourth school in 4 years. I mean, it's insane.
I mean, it is. Like I said, is it time for senior night to go the way of the Pro Bowl?
It is.
Like, I think so. Like, what? Come on. Let's stop.
I mean,
it's so special to me. It's not exactly going to be Doak's speech, or as a bouquet, or
Collison and Heinrich.
Yeah,
that was everyone's like. I was there for that and I thought it was amazing.
Yeah,
that ain't happening tomorrow.
No, but it's not the same kind of vibe for sure. No, I'm with you. I do think collectively bargaining, but then you have to make them employees, and you have to provide a safe workplace. Right. Then you're not going to be able to do two-a-days and all that with the football. There'll be all kinds of changes that come on that front when it comes to those rules. Not to mention the fact that like people in Lawrence, Kansas, and faculty are upset that they're using tuition and money from the university to make up for a $15 million shortfall in the athletics. Now, KU is kind of a unique situation in the sense that they've got a lot going on as far as their construction goes with the stadium, and they don't have the whole stadium open, so there's a lot of revenue that stadium will be generating, and maybe that money will be put back, at some point by the athletic department. But KU's not the only one that they're talking about. UCLA's having problems. Rutgers is having. I know they're all upset. Like UCLA, the university gave them $30 million, and they were still like $10 million short. Rutgers was talking about being $76 million. Florida State $237 million under on their athletic department. Like that's where this has to change, doesn't it? It's like they just can't keep up with the spending, and I think at some point the taxpayers are going to be a little pissed because a lot of tax money is going to these universities, and if they're taking that and paying athletes with it, I'm upset. I know that as a taxpayer in the state of Kansas.
Wait, so are you suggesting that these programs can't spend their way out of the debt that they're in? They can't continue to borrow from the future?
Always worked for me.
For all these bills that are due?
Yes, I'm saying that the Kurtis Seaboldt economic plan is not an effective strategy.
In fact, I'm heading to a payday loan place right after I leave here.
Well, and quite frankly, so are universities not too far. They're not too far behind, right? I mean, it's not payday loans, but it's pretty much the same thing when you're talking about some of the influence that could happen with investment, with private investments and such that have been, I mean, Utah has already engaged. University of Utah has already engaged in private equity, and so right. I mean private equity sitting there with all these dollars. They can read balance sheets. They see what's happening at these universities and athletic departments. Like the cap keeps going up, and then spending beyond the cap, which is obviously happening. That, like the price of doing business continues to increase because there's so much attention, especially on college football, that there's so much money floating out there for the players. So, yeah, I mean, it's an obvious. There's an obvious situation happening here with the spending and private equity just sitting there waiting for universities to come to them. They're patient now because they don't feel like they have to do it, but over time they're not going to be able to continue to borrow from the universities themselves. And look, historically, athletic departments have not been swimming in money. It's, as we know, football and basketball. Football makes tons of money, and for the Power Four, and then basketball in some places makes money, but not in all places. But for the most part, these athletic departments are hemorrhaging money. They're losing money year over year, and football has been funding the entire departments. And so, now when you have not had a situation where you've had to pay the workforce and you didn't really budget to do that, and now you have to take money that didn't exist previously and allocate it for $21 million a year. And again, that's just a minimum. Now you're also engaging, your corporate sponsors to get them to foot the bill, but they were spending X on the university and athletic department level, but now they can't spend X because they're spending Y on the players, so X is going to be less, right? I mean, so all of this stuff has been happening, and yet the universities have been sort of acting like they can Band-Aid it together, and that's, again, where I think private equity is going to become huge in this. Now, do I think they should? Absolutely not, but you can't continue to borrow from the universities. And, again, going back to the idea of, like, athletic departments have always been losing money, but it's always been a loss leader insofar as, they view it as the opportunity for the front porch of a university, where if you turn on football on a Saturday and see this team, dominating, then that makes you more likely to go to that university. It's the Nick Saban effect, where they saw an incredible amount of foreign students coming in based on football, and just the way in which, like, the ACT scores and SAT scores for admittance to Alabama increased exponentially, in a huge way over the time that Saban was there. So, look, I think athletic departments, it's like, welcome to capitalism, guys. Like, yeah, this is kind of how the rest of us live. This is, like, you got to have enough money to pay your bills, and your debt to income ratio, like, as a business, they have to start running them more like businesses. It's why a lot of athletic directors are now more business savvy as opposed to some of the former athletes that were taking over in those roles. So it's completely changed the dynamics, and again, I think a lot of these universities have kind of just been trying to Band-Aid things together without really planning long-term, and it's what's leading to the situation you referenced with Rutgers and many of the universities, where they're just continuing to borrow from tomorrow, and, yeah, those bills are going to come due soon.
Couple things. One, using X and Y in terms like economics, Kyle was told there'd be no math, so let's make sure I am number one. That's good to know. Yeah, I'm still number one.
Easy to add that number.
He just confirmed that. That's good to know. But no, you're absolutely right, but I do think at some point, like, the taxpayers and the government folks are going to start being like, what's up here, right? Like, what are we doing? And I love your point about, like, hey, this is they built an economic structure and it didn't have this part in it. Well, that's their fault,
right?
And so they're going to have to redo how they do things. And guess what? Maybe you just can't compete. Because I'll be honest with you, like, almost every one of these schools, all of their athletic programs are in the red. We're always in the red. There was always, when you read they generated, they had a $105 million budget, and they generated $106 million. They had $1 million profit, except for the $32 million in donations that were part of what they considered a revenue stream. It's the only place in the world that charity is considered revenue. But that's how they do things. Yeah, it is going to be interesting. For sure.
You're totally right.
Tell me,
totally right.
Let's talk actually basketball. ESPN sent in the big guns for the championship game, I think, or maybe even it's everything but the championship game. I can't remember. What is it?
It's Shambi and Fraschilla for everything up through the semifinals, and then
the semis and finals are
just the finals.
Just the finals.
Shulman and
Billis
are the final.
Yeah, I mean this is the best tournament going on in all of college basketball.
Yeah, they're going to have ESPN College Game Day is going to be there. DJ Khaled will be at Power and Light. They've got the ASB glass floor. I mean, it's a whole show. It's a whole production. And I know, look, I mean, Boog and Fran have been on Big Monday all year, and I love Fran. He's a friend of mine. It's funny because I know a lot of KU fans think he hates KU, and it's really just a bit. Like, he doesn't really hate anybody, and he's really good friends with Bill Self, or he's friends with Bill Self, but he just loves that KU fans think he hates KU, and so he just, he likes to rib them. But I know a lot of KU fans are happy that he's not going to be on the call. But, look, I mean, nobody knows this league better than Fran. Nobody's got better insights. I mean, he's the dude in the summer that's traveling around all of the Big 12 to visit with these coaches, to see these teams. And, I mean, look, Shulman and Billis are fantastic, and the Big 12 is extremely a huge benefit of them to have those guys. But, yeah, I mean, I do think there's a little bit of a sting there, especially for a guy in Fran that's, made a career out of the Big 12. I mean, he and Ron Franklin were doing Big 12 basketball games when I was at KU. So, I mean, that's a long tenure for him to be calling Big 12 basketball games, and he's a huge champion of the conference. But ultimately, it's a huge opportunity for the conference because it is the best basketball league in America. The Big Ten, in terms of like the metrics, are close, but and BYU and Texas Tech have fallen off a little bit. But in terms of the top of the conference, I don't know if there's anybody even close to how good the Big 12 is.
Do you know how badly a KU fan base has to hate you for them to prefer a Dookie?
Wow. Yeah.
So true.
That is. By the way, I love your point about, they're thrilled that for Schiller's not going to be calling the championship game. Who thinks KU's in the championship
good
game?
Point.
The way they're playing. What is that? What's that all about?
That's presumptuous.
You got Kansas in the championship?
No, but I think Kelvin Sampson summed up KU pretty well and said basically, like, you have no idea what you're going to get when you play them. And I think he's absolutely right. Well, what's interesting is the Arizona State game this week was kind of a disaster, but I was actually sort of encouraged about the second half of that game. I mean, they no-showed the first half, really couldn't hit shots at all in the entire game, but at least they showed fight and a toughness in the second half. But more than that, for me, as we know, watching this team all year, like, they've basically had two teams. Bill Self's been coaching two different teams. And now they're finally molding into one team. Now, granted, now is the time to do it because, March is here. But it felt like we saw Darren Peterson. First of all, we have not been talking about Darren Peterson's minutes at all, which is that's amazing. But then, second of all, like, he was not, and I think we talked about this last time I was on with you, Soren, like, he was not attacking. He was just really being a spot-up shooter, a three-point shooter. Like, some of these things that we thought about Darren Peterson coming into the season, that he was supposed to be this, plus defender, elite driver, can finish, can also, to facilitate. Like, we hadn't seen any of that. But I thought in the second half of that game against Arizona State, he was starting to do some of that, which means I think the team around him has a better feel for him and how he's playing. So I took that as a positive, and maybe that's just the crimson glasses that I'm wearing. But I was also the guy in December basically saying, pay this dude his $3.5 million and tell him goodbye, go get ready for the draft, because I'd rather win with the guys that want to be there versus the guys that don't.
Yeah. Ari, Final Four time. I've got like 50 seconds, so we're going to go quick. Are you ready?
Yep.
Who wins the Big 12 tournament?
Arizona.
U of A. Okay. How many Big 12 schools make the NCAA?
9.
9.
Cincinnati's getting in.
Very good. What's your favorite DJ Khaled song?
All I Do Is Win. Is that a DJ Khaled song?
I don't know. I don't know any of the songs.
Technically, yeah.
Technically? Yeah. There it is. Okay. Very good. Very good. And then, do you give money to your alma mater?
No.
Oh, get out of here. Ari, you're the best. We'll see you in KC next week.
Later, guys.
The program with Soren Petro.
Our program's going to be more important than any of you. Don't ever think that you're more important than this program.
Weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Listen, it's always time to get to your neighborhood hen house. I'm there, Kurtis and I, both of us, like 3-4 times a week, whether it's going over to the salad bar, award-winning salad bar. I love it. It's absolutely fantastic. The freshest veggies are there. Oh, so many great treats. Love the hen house salad bar. Or maybe it's back to the meat counter. Today, if you're Catholic, you're looking at the fish right? How about the Seabass Sway Filet 16-ounce package? Only $3.49. You're saving over $2 on that. You can take advantage of it right now. If you want something special, how about the lobster claws, right? They're just $13.99 a pound. That's an amazing value and a delicious way to elevate your dinner. Go check it out. They've got a great seafood counter. You will love all the items that are there, all of it. Fresh, fresh, fresh. And like the freshest boneless, skinless chicken breast. Just $2.99 a pound. It's raised right in our backyard in Ozark Mountain Country. You can find all these specials and more by going to henhouse.com. Henhouse.com. Henhouse. Fresh quality, friendly service, and savings you'll love all month long at your neighborhood Henhouse.
Ready! Hi, this is Chris with Ready Services, Air Conditioning and Plumbing. I've been with the company for going on 15 years. What you're going to get is not only get your problems fixed, but you're going to leave with peace of mind knowing that it's done right and done well by a qualified technician. Ready Services won't ever take advantage of any of our customers. Our goal is always to be the most accurate in diagnosing and providing top flight service for any service, air conditioning or plumbing.
ReadyServices.com. Ready. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to A to Z Save.
But first, the La Feta Delicatessen into the hour answer. Who was K-State's leading scorer the last time they won at Kansas? Hawks have won 19 straight.
It was under Wooldridge, wasn't it?
January 14th, 2006. Clint Stewart had 15 in a 59-55 win.
All right, I've already forgotten the guy's name. You just said it to me.
Clint Stewart.
No, not his.
Oh.
The Utah State coach.
Jared
Calhoun.
Jared Calhoun.
Jared Calhoun was asked about the rumblings that K-State is interested in him. He's the Utah State head coach. I think the 1 seed in the
I believe so, yes.
in the Mountain Division right now. If the tournament were to start today, here are his comments.
I call this, silly season time. Jason, the only thing I'm focused on is the 2:00 game tomorrow, winning the outright championship. I've said all along, Cam Walker, Ike, Carter, this new regime has been really, really good. I think we're in a really good place heading into the Pac-12. I think anytime you have success, there's going to be people that are going to call you, they're going to inquire. I think that goes for our players, to be honest with you. So I think the least amount of distractions, that's why I don't look at my phone. I don't have social media. I don't know what they're reporting. But I'm worried about New Mexico, to be honest.
Yeah, because you have an agent. He's fielding the calls. Like,
right.
Come on, let's don't act like we don't know what's going on. Your agent fields the calls. That's why you have an agent. Then you can sit there with a straight face and go, "No, I haven't talked to K-State." Yeah, but your agent has. See, that's how it works.
But you've heard from them.
Yeah, I always love this time. Silly season. We'll see. See what ends up happening. The Cats have, had the job open for a while. The Belmont coach got bounced from his tournament.
Lost by 20.